Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Hey, guess what today is?
Hump day.
It is hump day.
It doesn't feel like hump day.
You know what? I'm over it being dark 72 hours a day. Is anybody else out there annoyed with that? Like literally, you get home from work, it's dark. You wake up and go to work, it's dark. It's like, when's it not dark? And if you live in the land before time, there is no sun. It disappears. It goes away. I don't know where it goes.
Does it even come out?
I don't even know. And here's the funny thing, Dr. Dubiak's genetic testing. This is what's really cool about this genetic testing. It shows you stuff about your circadian. You can stay on here.
It's okay.
It shows you stuff about your circadian rhythm. So about your sleep habits and about all this stuff. And mine says clearly you don't get enough sleep. You're doing fine, but you need, better schedule and better sleep. But it talks about sunshine in the first part of your day, like the need for us and the value of just having sun on your face, not sunscreen, sun, soak it in 10, 15 minutes. If you can, even if it's freezing outside, what that does to you. I had no idea. I started doing some reading on it. It's the coolest thing ever. By the way, you can get it. I don't mean to make this into a promo, but it is bodybyAIM360.com, 412-227-9255. Remember, the blood works, 65 different biomarkers, hormones, all this stuff. Unbelievable. Never before this cheap $79.
Which tells you a ton too.
Tells you so much. And then $499. You're like, that's a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of money no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
The money or the answers you get. Awesome. BodybyAIM360.com, 412-227-9255. Wasn't expecting to do that. All right, so we have a quick update. Brock, you can hop on.
Update?
Mm-hmm. I think you and I both chatted with our mutual friend.
We did.
Who went to go see Dr. Simkovich. And she has hope.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's the best way of putting it. So much so she told me, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, that she broke down yesterday. Just because of the hope and just because of the feeling she has after seeing Dr. Simkovich and him reassuring her. And it's good to hear.
It's not complicated, right? I say that every day. I feel like I'm a broken record. The first 45 seconds of the show seem to be the same thing. I say the same thing. It's important. It's the same thing. It's common sense. Like, it's not complicated, right? What can you do to make somebody's life a little bit easier? What can you do to open a door and maybe give them a glimpse of hope? She
said something to me that that I had said with Dr. Dubiak. You never know how bad you feel until you feel good. And she told me she had very little tremors the day after the first visit.
She's got 2 more days. So it's a 4-day cycle for her. I'm hopeful. I've specifically not reached out. I haven't wanted to get in her mind or anything. I just wanted her to get better, Anyway, that's what it is, right? That's what it's supposed to be about. And there are people out there who are so like that, She
said she bit him because he was manipulating. And I'm like, I'm sure you're not the first. She's like, no.
She said she heard a crack.
Yeah.
Like he put his fingers in her mouth
and she heard it
like a pop, a crack.
She's like, he said my head was off kilter. Like, and I said, yeah, he said the same thing about me. And she's like, you need to go. And I said, I do. And it's one of those things I agree with you that everyone should have done once a year, at least go find out if you're out of line. And I'm extremely, it was a nice phone call to get before I went to bed.
I'm super geeked. So, anywho, how's everybody doing?
Did you give the number?
412-366-3700. Look.
Just find out.
Simkovich Concussion Institute. It's not just about brain injury. It's not just about concussion, I should say. It is about brain injury.
Mm-hmm. That's the life-changing medicine. The pills didn't work. None of that
She's
worked.
hopeful that she can get off of her meds.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? SimkovicConcussionInstitute.com.
She said that he has done more for her in 2 days than the meds have done for years, which is all you ever want to hear. Especially when it's your friend. You just want your friend to be better. Period. Full stop.
%. I am a hot ball of wax right now. So.
When aren't you a hot mess? Get it together, lady.
It just makes me very joyful. 1.12. Look, I'm a slobbering mess. Give me 1.5 at least to begin with. Come on. You have a job to do.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Hello, America. Greetings to all of you, and welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program, where we give you 3 hours of daily truth, conservatism, honesty, patriotism, love of all things right and normal and just. And we do it, hopefully, in a way that's entertaining for you. And if you're just stumbling upon us, Wendy Bell Radio is the easiest way to follow along. Join the family, get our app, watch the live video stream, get the podcast, come back. We love having you. Great day today to talk about what's going on in the news. A lot of Ilhan Omar. Oh boy, things heating up for the young lady. Can't wait to tell you all about it. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, I want to start with a personal story. You know, it's interesting when you don't realize something that you have and how much it means to you until you don't have it. Whether you lose it or you misplace it or you just don't have it for a little while, it's amazing how you start to feel value in something that maybe you've been taking for granted. And I want to tell you the story. A lot of you who are frequent flyers on the live video stream who follow us know this peripherally, the story about a ring that I have. It was about 5 months after my mom died in 2024 when my father flew from California home to visit my husband and our 5 sons and me in our house in Pittsburgh. And one morning, we were sitting at the kitchen table, just the two of us, and he reached into his pocket and he brought out this red quilted jewelry bag. A little small thing. It's like an envelope, except it's made out of cloth, quilted, beautiful, with gold stitching in it. And he flipped open the snap and he unzipped the inner pocket and he brought out a few pieces of my mom's jewelry for me. You know, it's been more than a year, almost a year and a half, and I wonder what it's like for him to walk by her clothes that remain the way they were the day she died, and to have to go through things that he had bought her over the years and tried to pick out a few special pieces for my sister and me. And he gave me a beautiful necklace with a diamond pendant on it. And he gave me a beautiful pair of gold earrings. I wear them commonly on this show. And he gave me something that I, many, many years ago, told my mom, I want that someday. And he handed it to me. It's a beautiful opal. And I remember the day that my dad gave it to my mom. I was a little girl. We didn't have a lot of money. My dad scrapped really hard. My mom didn't work. She stayed at home. It was my sister and me. And it was really the first significant, magnificent piece of jewelry he ever gave her. And I'm sure it cost a mint. And I'll never forget the sound that she made. It was a gasp and kind of a squeak when she opened it up. Kind of like that. And a fire opal is this most beautiful gem. And when light hits it, it literally looks like it is a flame. It's got blues and greens and golds, beautiful reds. It's magnificent. And in my kitchen, my dad handed me that ring. It's peculiar because the finger I put it on, I've broken multiple times. And there really aren't many rings I have that fit. This one slid right on. And I looked at the gem and it looked kind of weird. I'm like, wow, that's not as clear as I remember it being, but it's been a long time. Mom has worn it for 40 odd years. And my dad said, you know, it's interesting. She met somebody who told her in order to protect the stone, because it's kind of soft and it's fragile, what you should do is you should take clear nail polish and every now and again just coat a light little dusting of clear nail polish, a lacquer on top of the stone, which I thought was odd. But my mom dutifully did it. Now, any lady out there who's ever worn clear nail polish knows what happens after you put it on. It's good for like 7 minutes, but the minute you start doing dishes, the whole thing is ruined and you starts coloring and getting cloudy, right? That was this stone, my mom's opal. It was under probably 30 years of her every now and again taking out her clear nail polish and putting a coat on it. And he's like, yep, that's what somebody told her to do. And that's what she did. And I wanted to be like, what? That is ridiculous. It looks terrible. So after my dad left, right, I looked at it and I took a Q-tip with nail polish remover and I started dabbing at it. And I started dabbing at it. And then I took a cotton ball and I took a little bit of nail polish remover and I started scrubbing on and then I soaked the damn thing. It was just like trying to, ladies and gentlemen, every single week, a couple times a week for the last year, I've taken off this ring and I've tried to take off that coating of nail polish on top of the gem. And then a couple weeks ago, I was like, this isn't doing anything. And I went to the jeweler finally and I was like, Doug, I need your help. This is what happened. And he went, what the heck? He says, don't worry about it, Wendy. I've got a buddy. And he does something where he kind of buffs off whatever is on top of the stone and he'll polish it up and make it look pretty again. And I was like, oh, I hope so. Well, yesterday, I picked it up. And I haven't seen it look like this, honestly, since the day my mom got it. And it took me back all the way to then. And I didn't realize how naked I'd felt without it until I slid it back on my hand. And it is the most beautiful thing. And I am awestruck by how something so seemingly trivial is so meaningful. Look, this is what we're doing. This is the process we're in. Right now, you and I in this country, we're at the Q-tip moving over to the cotton ball, right? We're getting ready to saturate it. We need to scrape off this film, this cloudy coating this garbage that has dulled the gem that is America. It's made us look at each other suspiciously and doubt everything we ever hear. It makes you dig your hands in your pocket as you walk down the street and make sure you don't make eye contact with people. It's that coding that has opened our eyes, sadly, to the corruption and the fraud and the waste and the abuse and the number of people who have crapped on us and stolen from us and literally swindled us blind. And we just didn't know there was just too much nail polish on it. And then ultimately you get to the point where you can't get it off yourself. And you need to go to an expert. We're at that phase, ladies and gentlemen. The ring is at the expert. I don't know when we're going to get it back. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but I know this. I guarantee you that when the sun hits it, when all of that old lacquer is removed, all of the people who've sullied this beautiful land you and I call home, once they're all identified, once they're all removed, the gemstone that will be left, when the sun hits it, will take your breath away. And finally, we will feel whole again. I believe that. I believe that. And I voted for that. And I can't wait for that. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, we got to open the door to some of this stuff about Ilhan Omar, okay? We need to talk not just about if she married her husband, did she commit this offense and that punishable crime? Let's go beyond that. That's the window dressing. Let's take off that clear nail polish, right? Let's boil it down, because what we're talking about now is Ilhan Omar, a sitting congresswoman in the United States of America, even an American citizen. What? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I want to show it to you. It's just like I've shared this story with you so many times. I hope it translates. Let me see if it'll focus off of me. When the light hits it, all of that around there lights up outside, the sun, and it goes bzzz. Oh. Who knew? Anywho, CB Distillery, you guys, this is it. This is the week. And I think maybe they're coming back. Did I say 3 times next week? Which is giant. But in order to ensure you get your products before Christmas, this is it. This is it. Go to cbdistillery.com. Look, this is what they do, but they don't often give you 25% off your entire order. Like, no questions asked. Here you go. And quite frankly, what they do is offer peace of mind in a non-pharmaceutical way, which is brilliant. So if you have anxiety, you have stress, we all do. Sometimes, and I felt it a couple times, and it's scary when you feel like you're going to lose it. Like you're spiraling out of control. When you feel that way, there's a great thing you can do. You can take a gummy from CB Distillery and watch your body relax, feel like you regain control, and everything sort of calms down. Worth its weight in gold. Pain after exercise. Don't worry about it. They've got a product for that, right? And also, of course, let's see. Better sleep. That's what I was missing. Better sleep. Can't sleep well? I think it's like 8 out of 10 people over 50 sleep like crap. I was like, what? I sleep like a boulder. But this helps. cbdistillery.com, promo code Wendy, 25% off, right? They've got 2 million customers. And remember, this is a 100% money back guarantee. Use half of it. If you don't like it, get your money back. That's my kind of company. cbdistillery.com, promo code Wendy. All right, let's see how you guys are doing.
Back?
Hmm?
Can you lean back?
Yes.
There you go.
Is it zooming in on all of
It
my...
was zooming in on the
right, on my wrinkles?
just let me say it. I know it's blurry. She was talking. I wasn't going to interrupt her to tell her it's blurry.
You can interrupt me.
But it's because when
I
she
held up
sticks
my-
something in front of the camera,
It kind of goes
changes
haywire
focuses,
and it
yeah.
needs to, yes. But anyway,
If you guys see it, I see it.
was anybody commenting on how beautiful my hair is today?
Yeah, nobody said anything. I mean, I was shocked. I was stunned.
Can we get 2.0? Come on. People out there, I know you're like, what is she doing? I'm just going to say this. Look, we have to stop playing for letting them play the racism card against us and threatening us with that word to keep us from speaking out. Okay, here's what I mean. This has been the play for a while. This is the whole basis of everything woke and DEI. It's about giving an advantage to other people for whatever reason other than their God-given gifts, talents, and abilities, right? And giving them possible opportunities to do things that you, as a white person, wouldn't get. You, white, Catholic, straight, whatever you are, that you wouldn't get. And see, we've been cultured, we've been basically groomed into believing if we say anything that could be even remotely considered off anything regarding a black or a brown person, they can take out that card, put it on the table. It's the racist card. You've got no defense. I say reject that. Call them out for playing dirty and having a stacked deck, and kindly ask them to have some better cards to play. And here's what I mean. So Ilhan Omar over the weekend, as her cauldron of culpability, as a Somalian who represents the district that has been robbing America blind, right? The heat is cranking up. And so she came up with a story that her son was apparently hassled, created the illusion that he was racially profiled by ICE agents, right? So I want to read this to you. She says her son was pulled over by ICE agents. This is on slaynews.com. Slay, S-L-A-Y. Representative Ilhan Omar alleged during a Sunday interview that her son was, quote, pulled over by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents after a late night trip to Target. Well, it was interesting because ICE officials were like, say what? I don't recall that. And so they started doing some digging. Anybody? Bueller? Hey, Phil, do you know anybody who pulled over Ilhan Omar? So you don't? All right. Sally, you? No, nobody knew. Because it didn't freaking happen. They said, no way. There is no record of any such encounter. As Slay News previously reported, Omar told CBS Minnesota's WCCO that ICE had stopped her son and only released him because he always carries his passport to prove his identity. Omar claimed yesterday, after he made a stop at Target, he did get pulled over by ICE agents, and once he was able to produce his passport ID, they did let him go. Well, let us see your citizenship documents, Ilhan, while we're talking about proof, and we'll dig into that soon. And so this is very interesting. According to Newsmax correspondent James Rosen, ICE says the incident never occurred. Officials with ICE tell Newsmax that the agency has no record at all of stopping a car driven by the son of Ilhan, as the congresswoman claimed. And he added that acting ICE Director Todd Lyons dismissed the allegation as a ridiculous effort to unfairly demonize our law enforcement officers. Look, the game when you suck is to be a victim as much as you can. And if you're black or brown, you think you have baked into your skin the victim card. Well, you know what? America is tired of that. We're so tired of that. We're so tired of you lying when there is actual racism out there. We've established this. It exists. I don't see it in my neighborhood. I don't hang out with people who are like that, but you know it exists. Is it the story of America? Is it chapter 7 of the United States tale? It's not. But it is a very useful, though often played, trump card. And it doesn't have any more value. I'm tired of that. Look, the whole thing baked into this Minnesota fraud nightmare involving Somalians is the fear of white people being called racist for calling it out. What kind of a one-celled organism are you, albeit without a spine, to allow people who should not be here to rip off the hardworking people of this country because you're worried about being called racist? Oh, come on. Enough is enough. Tim Walz, you're the biggest wuss ever. No wonder he was all about tampons in the men's room. He probably needs them. This is on you, Governor Walz. Your watch. Your purview, and you freaking knew. You knew about all of it. You were worried. You needed them to vote for you because in Minneapolis, if you don't get 80,000 Somalians who amazingly 100% all vote Democrat, you don't win. Notice how it's never about ideas. It's never about actual strategy. This is Affordable Care Act. This is how you get in this stupid position we're in now, a race against the clock. People are going to lose their subsidies. Well, whose freaking fault is that? It's not the Republicans who voted 100% against it. Enough already. So pay close attention to the stories that come out. As these people, the Somalians, Ilhan Omar, anybody in Congress who wants to play a victim card based on what they look like, I have a message to them. Start delivering to the American people. And if you can't, because you don't have the God-given talent, and maybe you were picked for DEI purposes to fill a position, we demand better. We're taking off the nail polish. I want to see the fire opal again. We deserve that. We work hard for that. We pay God how much in taxes for that? For once, stop letting the family called America down. We've got a great dive thanks to Liz Collin, investigative reporter in Minneapolis. She's got somebody else on. Earlier in the week, it was a TSA agent who saw the suitcases full of cash, right? And the Somali guys pulling it through security. Now, she's got a woman who says, why did Ilhan Omar change her birth date in the Minnesota legislative record? Is she even an American citizen? I'm going to go with she's not. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I got a little fussy there.
Little?
I don't know. I was just needing my bone health. Tropical is really good. It's so mango-y.
Can't go wrong with mango.
When was the last time you took a supplement and you're like, that's delicious? Like, I crave a little bit of sweet. So I'm saying, healthy cell. Look, over the age of whatever. I mean, it's different for everybody, but osteoporosis, the whole bone health, bone density, calcium, all the things that you need. You'd be surprised after you get your blood tested by Dr. Dubiak. You find out, you're like, well, Shazam, I'm super deficient in a lot of things that I need. And then you look at healthycell.com/Wendy, and you're like, well, that's a very innovative way of getting nutrients and vitamins and supplements into your body. Don't go through the gut and the stomach acid and whatnot digesting it. Take a gel, which is absorbed like that, and get the benefits lickety split. 20% off your first order. Wendy Bell. Well, Wendy/Wendy. Healthycell.com/Wendy. I love this company. I love what they do. Focus and recall REM sleep. Check out all of their products. I'm telling you, I will never pop another pill again. Why would you? Plus, I sometimes get that gaggy, right? That's so extractive. How you doing? How you doing? So did our mutual friend say how long she was with Dr. Simkovich?
She said the first day it was 2 hours, and the second day it was 4.
Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine if maybe by us connecting these dots, our friend with debilitating essential tremor, our friends, the Simkoviches, who own a company that changes people's lives, like, and I get stories about it all the time. I mean, it's like mind bending. Imagine, and they don't do tremors. That's not part of their game plan. But I was like, can you just try? Can you just see her, touch her, see? And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. What if now there is treatment for people like that? My mom had terrible essential tremor. She would have loved to not have her hands shake like this. She couldn't put on makeup. She couldn't put on lipstick. It was terrible. And it calmed down with a cocktail, which is helpful. But I mean, really no way to manage your tremors. But I'm so excited. Anyway, I'm talking nervously because I'm super hopeful. Let's see how you guys are doing. 1.9. Huh?
So was the Dr. Simkovich.
What do you mean?
He had told her, he's like, I think you're going to do great with this after the second visit. So it's at least, like you always say, there's at least hope. Hope dies last.
It's a good day. It's a good day, and we deserve it. All right, what's going on out there? Black Souls, good morning. Hello, Alexander Petrocius. Hi, Ned Tunes. Hi, Glow. Hi, Darius. Hi, Plaz. What's up, Demanda? Hi, Esky. Freebird, our frequent flyers. Who's new? Hi, Deprived Canadian. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. Just horrible story. Yeah. 46 did not win. Good morning. Stephen G, how are you, love? Dawn Parcel.
Did yours turn on?
Hi, Kathy. What?
Did your AC turn on?
Yes. Hi, Otmar. What's going on, sweetheart? Hi, Wopsy Hockey.
What?
Joma. My beauty shines when I'm fussy. How you doing? I don't know about that. Hi, Wendy. Good morning to you, my beautiful friend. Oh, that's lovely. Keep it coming. Tell me how wonderful I am. Never stop. Yeah, AC is terrible. God bless America. Hi, Aura Muse. Hi, Edith. Ray Carr. What's going on, Atlantis Joe? Hi, Elevator Jim and Freebird. Hi, Cindy. What's going on, guys? Hi, Pappy. Is my boyfriend Gail watching? Gail, I send you love. Hi, Goody.
I had someone on my Facebook page who I've worked with in the past, years ago, basically lambasting all Trump supporters and because of what he tweeted, truth.
Oh, about Rob Reiner?
Yeah. Saying, how could you? You're going to lose people, friends. I responded. I said, it's funny. I didn't see your condemnation when the left did this to
Charlie Kirk?
Charlie Kirk. And he does a Facebook show. And I says, I'll come on anytime that we're not on the air and let's have a civil conversation.
Right.
I'll get you more than your 110 views because I know you all would show up just to hear it. Let's see if I get a response. I bet I
Lean
don't.
over and tell me who it was.
I don't know if you never worked with him.
Who?
You didn't vote with
Who?
Vinny.
No. Oh, I don't know who that
He
is.
worked at the sports station, but I worked with him on other shows. Yeah.
So Bob and Chris got into Tennessee and Clemson. No to Notre Dame. I'm okay
That's
with
it.
that.
I'm gonna stop wearing.
I'm
their
good with
stuff.
that. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. Look, I did not expect it, and I did not expect it from this individual, Linda McMahon, Education Secretary, to be the one to call out Tim Walz and say, dude, you need to go. You need to go. And her reasoning, the many tentacles on this octopus of suck, if you will, called fraud. And the nexus, it seems like so much of it is in Minnesota, but you know it's all over. You know it's not just Minnesota. These stories of the American taxpayer being robbed blind because of a lack of oversight, a lack of care, a lack of backbone, whatever it is, or even in Ilhan Omar's own words, a lack of guide rails, right? She's right. Where is the oversight? Who's paying attention to where the money is going? Is anybody awake out there? Well, yeah, Linda McMahon. And she says nearly 2,000 students, college students in Minnesota, have been ripping off the college loan system, the student aid system. Come on. She calls them ghost students. And she said they received $12.5 million. Wait, what? And because of that, she's like, dude, you're in Minnesota, Tim Walz is such a cluster. You've got to resign for the good of your own self-respect, for your own dignity. You are an abject failure. At some point, you need to slither off into the sunset and lick your wounds and be irrelevant forever. So in Minnesota, home to the largest population of Somali immigrants in the U.S. and the site of numerous fraud investigations, fraudsters received $12.5 million in student loan and education grant money, according to a letter Education Secretary Linda McMahon sent to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. And the letter calls on him to resign and states that a new fraud prevention system at the department has found, ready? Over $1 billion in attempted financial aid theft, including by international fraud rings and artificial intelligence bots. Your careless lack of oversight and abuse of the welfare system has attracted fraudsters from around the world, especially from Somalia, to establish a beachhead of criminality in our country, McMahon wrote. As President Trump put it, you have turned Minnesota into a fraudulent hub of money laundering activity. At the beginning of this year, the U.S. Department of Education became aware that fraudulent college applicants, especially concentrated in Minnesota, were gaming the federal post-secondary education system to collect money that was intended for young Americans to help them afford college. She referred to the students or the fraudsters as ghost students because they were not ID verified and often did not live in the United States, or they simply did not exist. And noted that in Minnesota, 1,834 ghost students were found to have received $12.5 million. That's about $7,000 each. It's a lot of money. Every dollar is a lot of money, right? Somalians, fake students. Fantastic. Well, that brings us over into another look, specifically at Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Liz Collin with Alpha News has a woman on her program, and her name is AJ Kern. AJ ran for office back in the day, but she's turned into a whistleblower now who alleges Ilhan Omar changed her birth year to allege she was 17 instead of 18 when her father, back in the day, became naturalized. If you're a minor, the parent becomes a citizen. The children who are minors become citizens too. So why would Ilhan Omar, beyond marrying her brother and committing multiple frauds there, right? Federal marriage fraud. She could have broken Minnesota's incest law, maybe even tax fraud if she and her brother, husband, filed joint taxes. Tom Homan says he's pulling the records in the files to determine if she's actually a citizen, you guys. This is amazing. Let's listen to this AJ Kern as she details how and why she managed to dig up Ilhan Omar's backstory. Listen.
I had figured out that she actually wasn't a minor when her father could apply for naturalization. So it kind of blows a hole in her story that she obtained naturalization or citizenship when she was 17. On top of that, not anyone has ever verified her citizenship, not the Minnesota Secretary of State, the FEC, or Congress itself. I then went to the Minnesota Secretary of State's office in October of 2019, I believe, and I asked questions and found out that they didn't verify her citizenship, and they actually don't.
So how do you verify their citizenship if they're foreign-born? But that's outside of our realm. There's no authorization in the statutes for us to follow, double check on people, verify their status and things like that. They sign the affidavit. That's the certification statement, and that's just the way it is right now. There is no law that requires us. And in fact, because there is no law telling us to do that, we would be violating the laws by checking up on people. We don't verify everybody is a citizen.
We don't verify everybody is a citizen. She goes to the Secretary of State's office in Minnesota, and she's like, look, and this is just a person. This is a person who is awake, who is concerned, who's connecting the dots, who's like, wait a minute. I noticed that on this document, she says she was born in this year. But over here, it says she was born in this year. So what is it? She goes to try to find out. Do you have proof that Ilhan Omar is, in fact, an American citizen? Oh, we don't really ask for proof. In fact, they just have to sign an affidavit. And we're not even supposed to ask. We're really not allowed to. In fact, the woman doubles down. It's against, it's kind of against the law for us to get too nutty. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You want to talk about lack of oversight? Let's talk about people phoning it in. Phoning it in. Did you guys hear in the latest jobs report? 160,000 federal jobs taken away, gone. 70,000 federal people like that. Workers like that who are like, we really don't ask. It's like, whatever. I'm almost out of here. I've got to go pick up my dry cleaning. Right? Meanwhile, we added 800,000 new jobs, or I think that's the number. And they're all U.S. citizen jobs. Thank you very much, Mr. President. So this woman, AJ Kern, being interviewed by journalist Liz Collin, continues her story. She's like, so I go to the Secretary of State's office. They give me a closed door. And then they tell me, really, you're kind of barking up the wrong tree. Nobody really cares about this stuff. We don't keep records. So she's like, really? So Minnesota doesn't verify that candidates running for office are even U.S. citizens? Where is the documentation? This woman is on a bone. Listen.
No one has seen her official naturalization records. No one. Not the Minnesota Secretary of State, not the Federal Election Commission, not Congress. And there is enough evidence now, especially in changing her birth year. I mean, who does that? Who goes to that effort of, I'm in Congress now and I've just noticed that my birth year is incorrect. No, that's a red flag. And I think there is enough evidence now that Congress has a job to monitor their own, and that's what they should do. They should have initiate a congressional inquiry just because there is enough evidence that calls into question whether she's actually a citizen, and that this is so important that we do not have a foreign nationalist, a Somali nationalist, occupying a seat in Congress, affecting laws that govern the United States of America.
That is so giant. Look, everybody's talking about fraud, yes. They're talking about her being a Somali American, about being sort of a local representation or federal representation of the community. Wait a minute. No. The real story is Prove to me that you're even an American. Do you realize how giant that is? You have to be a citizen, my friends, to run for Congress. You have to be a citizen if you want to be president of the United States. How many laws has this broad trampled? Meanwhile, her constituents are robbing you blind. This is why last month, and Politico was pants on fire about it, Donald Trump said to Ilhan Omar, leave the country. Here's your story. President Donald Trump went after. He didn't go after. He knows Ilhan Omar for her Somali heritage, urging her to leave the country in a social media post, reprising an attack he used several times throughout his time in office. That's not an attack, right? That's not an attack on her heritage. It's not an attack on her skin color. If you break the law and you lie about being a citizen of the United States, get the hell out of our country. That doesn't make Donald Trump racist. That doesn't make him a hater of the Somalis, but he notices, you know what? I'm not saying a whole lot of really active Somalis here in our country. They should go. Pack your bags and beat it. The majority of you are on welfare. Remember, we're not supposed to have people who are, right? They're on welfare. They're already double dipping. They're getting benefits. They're getting freebies. They're getting health care. They're getting EBT cards, right? And they're ripping you off. I agree with the president. And I agree with his sentiment a month ago. She should leave the country. And by the way, if Congress doesn't want to investigate this, why are we not investigating everybody? How many people whose names I can't pronounce are members of Congress? There are 435 people there. A lot of people I've never heard of before. Well, that sounds like profiling. Good. Profile the liver out of everybody. And then, by the way, while you're doing it, pull up all their financial disclosures. Let's dig into their freaking checking accounts. You want to sniff up my skirt when I buy a $602 dryer. Can we not do one basic thing? That is the story, ladies and gentlemen. Is Ilhan Omar even a citizen of America? My answer? No. And she's desperate for you not to find out. And she's willing to call you a racist if you ask too many questions. When we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program, China taking a stab at Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt. Apparently, the people in Wuhan don't like that he called them out, sued them, and won billions from Missouri. Oba, don't miss this story next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Woo, boy. He's funny. He's like, let's go. Bring it. I've got it. Because we've got something in this country that they don't have. Discovery.
Yep.
Once you sue, all right, let's go. You show me what you have. What? I was supposed to keep those documents? I wasn't supposed to delete terabytes of data? What? Like wipe it with a cloth?
That's not a cloth. That's a hammer. They like the hammers on the left.
They sure do. Even the vibrating ones.
Yes.
Come on. Does anybody really believe that Paul Pelosi had a serious brain injury? I mean, he might have had an injury.
Well, he did marry Nancy.
It wasn't on his head, but okay. Well,
he did marry Nancy.
That's true. Anyhow, I'm a little fired up about this. Liz Collin doing a great job knocking it out of the park. So I super duper enjoy sharing her stories with you guys. Chef IQ, let's go Chef IQ, Chef IQ. Hey, no more guessing. So Jack and I are talking last night and we're like, okay, so we're hosting dinner. So it'll probably be 20 of us. So, and my family, Joe's family is lovely with the whole cooking and everything. Everybody brings something. It's never a heavy lift. Everybody pitches in. And as long as my mother-in-law doesn't have to do it because she's cooked for us for 1,000 years, we're happy. Like, Mom, you'll bring nothing and like it. Okay. So Jack's like, why don't we get one of those beautiful prime ribs? I saw them at Sam's Club. I'm like, woo, man, they're a couple $100. Some of them are a couple $100. And for
That
our
might be available.
for our family, it would have to be, right? So we're like, we have Chef IQ, right? I've never cooked a prime rib. Who wants to spend a couple $100 and have 20 people waiting with like their fork and knife on the table, right? Napkins here. And then find out you fudged it up. Either it's still mooing or it's completely, frizzled and overcooked. Well, you don't have to worry about that when you have your trusty little assistant called Chef IQ. I love this thing, you guys. I'm telling you. I don't lie, so all I have to do is tell you it's the bomb. Stuff is the bomb. 4 steps. What are you making? Where are you making it? How do you like it? Right? Go. Okay. And then it goes, okay, almost time to flip. Oh, great. Flip.
Works great when your grill catches fire.
Oh, my gosh. Mine was going.
Yours.
And I was like, what? Yeah, you had the same thing.
Yeah.
His brand new grill. Trying to ruin it. Anyway, it's great. It comes with, it has this experience book. I'll give you an experience. My grill caught on fire and my steak was perfect.
Hey, how was my brisket?
Oh, man alive. Was that tender and delicious? I had to
eat 5 pieces before anyone else had one. Yeah,
I did it the other day to steaks too, and it really pissed off my kids.
Oh, shocker.
I know. Well,
they should be used to it though. And then she does that, and then she's like, I couldn't eat another bite. Well, no kidding, you had half a steak before anyone else even sat down to the dinner table.
Shut up.
I couldn't eat another piece of that brisket. Well, no kidding, you had 5 servings. Put a sock in it, lady. Unbutton your pants. Go lay on the couch. Let somebody else have some.
Unbutton your pants and go lay on the couch.
Well, that's what you do on Thanksgiving.
I've been there. Yes. But anyway, chefiq.com/nothing. Chefiq.com. Use my name, save 30%. We got sidetracked. I'm sorry. He started talking. Chefiq.com, promo code Wendy, 30%. It's just the easiest daggone thing. And by the way, if you're in your 70s and your 80s and you're like, well, I'm not really all that technological. Well, neither am I. So this is going to be perfect for you. Okay? Okay. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Look, I get fiery about some of this stuff with these people ripping us off and then playing some victim card and playing the race card. It's so insulting. If you were Black or Hispanic or anybody considered a racial minority, that should outrage you. That should make you feel sick inside, right? It would be like me saying, oh, because I'm a woman, I deserve blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's right. We've already been through that chapter of history. Can we knock it off? Can we knock it off? Can we sink or swim based on our hard work? Right? Can we get back to that? Is that so long ago? What? It's such a mystery. So Eric Schmidt, knives out for Eric Schmidt, and I love it. Senate Republican targeted by communist China. If you can piss off the Chinese and get them to sue you for $50 billion, you're obviously over the mark. Yes. Senator Eric Schmidt previously sued China over COVID response while serving as Missouri Attorney General. First of all, the whole era of the Wuhan thing and Fauci and all of those idiots who were like, it was natural origins. It just happened in nature and it showed up at this wet market that just so happens to be, a virus cough away from a freaking, poorly secured biohazard lab, but no, it couldn't have possibly come from there, right? And then our morons here in our leadership, they're like, look, here's what we're going to do. I mean, I know the virus came from China, but I think it makes perfect sense to get masks from China. That's perfect. You want to get, let's do this. Let's get masks and we'll get the tests, the COVID tests. And we'll get those from China. And that makes perfect sense, right? And beyond that, after we do that, let's go ahead and get 90% of our pharmaceuticals from China. Does that make sense to anybody out there with a working cerebral cortex? No, it doesn't. But that's where we've been. Eric Schmidt was like, I'm suing Wuhan. You guys were reckless. You guys didn't care. You launched a global pandemic, right? Senator Eric Schmidt from Missouri is being sued by the People's Republic of China for tens of billions of dollars in damages. In damages. They're suing him for damages. It would be like a Somalian suing Tim Walz for stopping them from stealing. Right? How dare you do that? I'm filing a lawsuit. It's got to be racist or discriminatory or something. There's going to be some liberal judge who sees it my way anyhow. Right? Schmidt's being sued by them, by the People's Government of Wuhan Municipality, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and the Wuhan Institute of Virology of the Chinese Academy of Sciences for roughly $50 billion, several years after the lawmakers sued the country during the COVID pandemic. The lawsuit, first obtained by Fox News Digital, accused Schmidt, FBI co-director Andrew Bailey, and the state of Missouri of damaging the reputations of China, Wuhan. Okay. This is like the country of Somalia suing the Trump administration for damaging their reputation, right? Right? We're not going to be responsible for what we've done to earn the scourge of an entire country. We're going to sue you because you're talking about it and you're exposing it. We don't like that. So the Wuhan people are suing him because he exposed them for sucking. Isn't that rich? Can we agree we have way too many lawyers? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Schmidt said in a statement to Fox News he'd been banned from communist China, and now I'm being sued and targeted by them in a $50 billion lawsuit campaign. I will wear it like a badge of honor. He was on with Laura Ingraham last night, and I enjoy his smile and his personality and his dogged determination to uncover truth. Here's Eric Schmidt.
And you know me as a troublemaker, but it's totally ridiculous. They're just mad that we exposed their lies and their deceit. Whistleblowers went missing. Flights in and out of Wuhan internally weren't canceled, but the international flights still came in and out of Wuhan. We exposed all that, and Missouri got a $24 billion judgment against them, and they don't like that. And it's also worth noting, in my New York Times bestseller book, this is a big part of it, The Last Line of Defense. You can read all about it. It makes a great stocking stuffer, Laura. President Trump loves it. You love the book.
Okay, shameless plug alert by Schmidt.
I know. Well, I had to. I'm being sued for $50 billion. Here we go.
No, so, that's true.
But the truth is, but they unleashed COVID on the world. We sued them and we won, and so this is just sour grapes. They've sued me for $50 billion, but I won't be apologizing anytime soon, as you'd imagine.
I love it. I'm tempted to go and buy his book just cause, right? So he's like, bring it on, bring it on. We've gotten to that critical phase where we're removing the paint from the gem, right? And the people who are so desperate to put another layer on, keep layering it up, stacking it up so you can't see. So you're blind. You have no idea. They're stopping you. They're panicking. They're coming up with other stories. Wait for other smoke screens. There's going to have to be something big to drop to save Ilhan Omar's ass. That's a fact. What will it be? A terror attack? Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program continues now. Sorry, but you're not welcome here. You're not welcome here. And that's what the president said. He expanded his travel ban to 20 more countries. Rock on, Mr. President. We'll talk about it next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Seem to have a lot of energy today. All right. Bloodflow7.com. How many of you have taken it? How many of you hop on the stream and tell me who's taken it? Who's taken it and how do you feel? There is no reason in the world that 4.5 to 5.5 hours of sleep a night should be enough. There's just no way, when we should have 8. And the pediatrician even told me my son, like when they're teenagers, they can sleep 10, 12 hours a day and their bodies need it. It's not that they're lazy, but literally they need it. I work on less. There's no way 4.5 hours is enough. I was up at 1:30 this morning, right? So I got up. But I don't feel bad. Bloodflow7.com. This is it. Let's see. Who's taken it? I want you to tell me something that you've experienced. I take it and just took my morning dose. I love it and I sleep so much better. Love it. It does make a difference, right? It is great. My blood pressure is good. No more medication. Right?
What about the Alpha Male Gold?
Husband and I are on it. Alpha Gold Male. Can you please hold it up? I want you guys to see this.
I stopped taking the blood flow and started taking this.
Right?
I feel the same way.
Alpha Gold Male with formulations specific for men, testosterone, et cetera, et cetera. Because we know what the difference is between men and women on this show. Right? We can support each other, but he can have. Why did you do that again?
Because it bothers you.
It really does. And so you keep doing it. Alpha Gold Male. Okay, bloodflow7.com/Wendy. There's a deal going right now, right? It's like 30% off. It's cheap. It's affordable. It's phenomenal. My mother-in-law sleeps like poo. Mom, Bloodflow7. She said the REM sleep didn't do her favors. And I'm like, okay, well then. Can I give you some CB Distillery gummies too? What can I give you? Let me help you sleep. Anyway, I think if you don't sleep. All right, what else? What else did you guys say? I still take REM at night. Great. I'm taking it and I don't sleep long. Right. I do and it works. I'm treating myself to blood flow for Christmas. Kimba, WendyBellRadio@gmail.com. Do it for literally 3 days and get in touch with me. Taking blood flow for 2 months. Feel great. Blood pressure. Last doctor visit 120/80. Right? Love my blood flow. Yep, taking it. Not sure yet if any effects good or bad. Okay. Wait till you sleep. And your hubby, Judy, thank you. That's funny. There's a logo, a China logo at the bottom. Cry cut. Yeah. You know, I'm done trying to. If I got this mug in America, we would have to charge $40 for a mug, and that's just stupid. So some things I'm going to take on the chin, and I'll take the coffee mugs being made in China. Do I want them there? No, I don't. But it is what it is. Taking it. You guys are awesome. Helps with anxiety, Doodle Cake says. Makes me have more oomph, Junebug says. Wow. I was a skeptic about Bloodflow7, but I'm a believer now. I love it. Blurry Faces, I tried it, no change. Huh. Oh, Kelly Pigeon, remember, we're moving 12 to 3 starting January 5th. It helps better than coffee getting going in the morning. My husband is on it too. Thank you for trusting me. See? Rosie Riveter, check it out. Check it out. It's I'm telling you, if he gets DVTs and he sits a lot in planes, absolutely. The whole point of it is the nitric oxide, which makes your blood vessels go so more blood gets through. More blood is more focus, more clarity, more strength, more stamina, right? And less exhaustion during the day. So you're like, sleep like a boulder. Take Bloodflow7. All right. Well, that was like a 7-minute commercial, but I love them. So there you go. Anywho.
I interrupted you with the.
And you just did again. Why did you do that? Like, just stop it.
Wow. So the Alpha Gold Male isn't working on you.
Ew.
It's just not working on what's her name's dog either.
Oh,
her dog lost all this weight, and now she won't come up to me. Like she's sassy now. I don't.
You are very poor about keeping people plugged into what you're talking about. Nobody knows that we have somebody on our floor who regularly brings in her dog. Now, I think it's dumb and it makes me annoyed. But the dog is darling and is quiet, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, she's quiet.
And right? So it's like, whatever. And if the dog needs it, everybody's cool with it. Like, I don't care, what have you. But this one's like, with dogs. So. So anyway, I guess the dog doesn't like you anymore because the dog lost some weight.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it cleared up their vision. Who knows?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I know.
That's hurtful.
I know. It's just so terrible. Look at you guys with the comments here. How many comments do you have?
Wow.
Like a bazillion gillion? I have something sticking up right here. I couldn't tell. I know.
You already
right?
know how to kick a guy when he's down.
God, I look good today. Just kidding. I'm a fellow prune picker. What does that mean? That sounds gross. I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand. I did hurt his one feeling, Demanda. You're right. I hurt his feeling. I think.
Hey, that's.
Let's play a game.
Only give person one feeling to hurt.
Hide the bobby pin. Okay. There you go. That makes
Come by with a magnet.
I swear to God, I'd be like, I could set off a metal detector. Plus, I have overalls on, but I have them down. Newsmax gets a little persnickety about that. Not like they're
4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. I'm delighted to have you guys today. So there's a guy who does some HVAC stuff, some air conditioning stuff at my house. His name is Kieran. He's from Ireland. And he's a salty MF dropping dude. And I love him. He loves America. And he became naturalized about 2 years ago and sent me a picture. I mean, literally. I have no reason to communicate with him except when he's at my house cleaning there or changing filters around or helping me with duct work or what have you. I was so excited to become an American citizen. I'm like, well, how did it go? How did it take a long time? What's the process? He's like, yeah, it's years. It's years. It's all these steps. You have to have people vouch for you. You have to prove this. You have to test that. You have to read these materials. You have to understand American history. You have to get the nuance of what is the fabric and the history of this country. And he is so excited to be an American citizen. It was something that taught me how much I take for granted. Just being an American, right? You don't get that. From the illegal aliens. I didn't get that vibe when the goons who beat up the 2 NYPD officers stomped them, kicked them, broke ribs, got arrested and then bounced because it's a sanctuary city that sucks, right? And walked out of jail and gave cameras the middle finger. I didn't really get the vibe that those dudes love America. My friend Kieran, he loves America, would do anything for her, and is more patriotic than a lot of Americans I know. There's a difference. When you come to our country, if you want to be in our country, if you want to visit our country, that is a privilege. It's not your right. just because. It's a privilege. I would never go to your country and demand a bunch of crap from your government, special treatment, of course, right? Nor would I go and think that I should vote in your local or federal elections. I wouldn't think that I should go and qualify for some kind of benefits that the people in your country work hard to provide. I would never dream of ripping you off, and it wouldn't happen. But in America, either because of no oversight, no care, no stones, or no spine, this is standard operating. It's like this rinse, repeat cycle. It's the same thing. Well, President Trump is tapped out. He's had enough. And he said to all these countries yesterday, we don't know who you are, the people who you want to come to our country. Yet we don't know who they are. You don't keep records. We're not getting great details about the intentions or the past of the people who want to come into this country. And until we can come up with a system where said vetting can be appropriately done, we're not doing it anymore. He's a racist. Well, let's read the story from the New York Times. We'll get the legacy media point of view. And then we'll advance to see what the White House says, which is something that's a lot more pared down, a lot more common sense, a lot more reasonable, as you would imagine. So this is what the legacy media's view through the lens of the New York Times. Trump expands travel bans and restrictions to 20 more countries. People from Syria, South Sudan, and those with documents issued by the Palestinian Authority are included in the latest restrictions. More than 35 countries are now under U.S. travel restrictions. Okay? President Trump on Tuesday expanded travel restrictions to include 20 more countries, just weeks after he promised to do so when authorities arrested an Afghan national in the shooting of 2 National Guard troops in Washington. There's always a final straw with this president. And it's usually the death of an innocent American. And he taps out. The revised policy, which takes effect January 1st, fully blocks travel for individuals from 5 additional countries: Syria, South Sudan, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, and also for people with documents issued by the Palestinian Authority. Well, no duh. Okay? People from countries that historically hate us, I don't know. I think perhaps we should be a bit scrutinizing. Or is that racist? Because they're not white. That's the story that the left wants you to know. If you speak out about any of these people and they don't look like you, you're racist. Better be careful. Stop it. Mr. Trump first instituted a travel ban on 12 countries, including Afghanistan, in June, and vowed after the shooting last month to permanently pause migration from all third world countries. All right? Your cultures probably don't work with ours. These things do not work compatibly, okay? If you are from a country where there are not toilets, where there is not sanitation, and you don't know how to relieve yourself the way everybody else does, I'm going to say, base level, we have a problem, okay? That's very basic. If you come from a culture where gang rape of women is common, where the mutilation of women's genitalia is common, I'm going to go with, just first blush, no travel expert, you probably shouldn't come here, okay? Please. In fact, Trump said, you shan't come here. Thank you, Mr. President. It goes through this, partial travel ban here. The new policy also applies to spouses, children, and parents of U.S. citizens, as well as to Afghan special immigrant visas. All these people, they opened up the C-17s and said, come on in, like it was a freaking ark, right? Where's Noah? I don't know, but we got 85,000 Afghans. What could possibly go wrong? I don't know. What could it be? Trump is saying no mas. Makes sense to me, right? Well, now, in this article, it talks about Mr. Trump, his new policy, slamming the door on nearly all non-citizens from the listed countries. Good. I voted for that. Next, right? Meanwhile, the Republicans, 85%, approve with President Trump. Approve of President Trump, right? We're not out here hand wringing. I'm not like, oh, I don't know. Do I like this or don't I? Gone. See you later. Tapped out. Now let's read what the White House says about what they're doing, because it's actually quite methodical, surgical, and it's practical. There's nothing incendiary, inflammatory, or outrageous about this. It's about a president and administration realizing that a hell of a lot of people came into this country, and the Biden administration did zero to vet them. They lied to us and said they did. So this is what it says. This proclamation, fact sheet, continues the full restrictions and entry limitations of nationals from the original 12 high-risk countries established under a proclamation in Trump's first term, right? Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea. I had to look that up. I think I still said it wrong. I'm like, I've never read that in my life. I'm not a world traveler, sorry. Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. It adds full restrictions and entry limitations on 5 additional countries based on recent analysis. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan, and Syria. I'm good with that. I'm not typically hobnobbing with these people, but I'm okay with that. It also adds full restrictions and entry limitations on individuals holding Palestinian Authority-issued travel documents. It imposes full restrictions and entry limitations on 2 countries that were previously subject to partial restrictions, Laos and Sierra Leone. Stuff is still going on in those countries, ladies and gentlemen, that this president isn't down with. Do you understand that this is leverage? This is art of the deal, with a side of keeping America safe, right? The president is saying with tariffs, with trade, and with these travel restrictions, everybody wants to come to the United States. We're not a free-for-all. You have to earn it. You aren't allowed to sponge off of the goodness or come here with the intent to harm. And if your country, your home country, is on fire, and there's civil war, and there's murder aplenty, and Christians are being gunned down, and it's chaos, we don't want you. We don't want your people. We don't want your refugees. So if you want to come, clean up your country. Now, this is the part that I found interesting. The proclamation continues partial restrictions on nationals from 4 of the 7 original high-risk countries, including Venezuela, but says this, and this is how you know Trump's thoughtful about it. It says, because Turkmenistan has engaged productively with the United States and demonstrated significant progress since the previous proclamation, right? This new proclamation lifts the ban on its non-immigrant visas while maintaining the suspension of entry for Turkmen nationals as immigrants. We told you we didn't like what you were doing in your country. You cleaned it up. You worked with us. And so now the second one, we're going to ease up the restrictions. And yes, you can come. This is not a dictatorship. This is not an oligarchy. This is a president who says it's America first. And if your countries don't blend well with ours, you have civil war craziness, drugs, murder, you all stay where you are. We don't want you. Those who play by the rules, let's sit down and make a deal. Any questions? I voted for that. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, the media wants you to believe the Department of War has something to hide. There was a Hegseth meeting yesterday. All these headlines. The video Pete Hegseth won't show you. What could it be? Like the Trump photo with the tropical women, right? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Not the tropical women, but the Hawaiian tropic models, right? We're going to redact their pictures. It's going to make you think. Those are minors. Are those women that Donald Trump was having sex with? He is a rapist and a pedophile. And you're like, well, no, it's actually adult women who are Hawaiian tropic models. And that was from 1998 at Mar-a-Lago. And all of them said that he was a perfect gentleman. So other than that, these headlines make it sound like, ugh.
Don't they realize that
Nobody believes them?
When you're someone like Donald Trump and the Hawaiian tropics girls are around you, you have to act a certain.
Even if your it's your place.
Yeah, even if he was
you're the host of the party.
Well, not just that. People are so quick to sue and make tabloids that you have to be on your. above reproach. You have to be. You have too much to lose.
You know what? You don't have anything to lose with Texas Bullion Exchange. That is their principal protection program. What other precious gold outfit, precious metal, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, what other seller of precious metals says to you, we're so confident that you're going to love your investment of precious metals that just keep going up as the value of the dollar keeps going down, that we're going to make you this deal. If for whatever reason, 5 days from now, 20 years from now, whatever, you want to sell back your gold or silver, platinum, and palladium, we will buy it back from you. And you'll never get back less than what you paid. You'll never lose money with Texas Bullion Exchange. That's a big deal. WendyLovesGold.com. WendyLovesGold.com. Now, Wendy really loves silver, too, I'll just say.
It is officially doubled since I got it a year ago.
That's amazing. That's amazing. 855-927-5557. Yeah, Brock, a year ago for his birthday, got a silver bar. And how cute was Texas Bullion Exchange? I talked to my people there, and I was like, I'd really like to get a silver bar. He makes fun of it. Like, I love silver bars. And I was like, let's get him a silver bar. And they're like, we're on it. And I was like, just tell me how to give you the payment. And they're like,
You're my favorite.
We'll send it to him. Who does that? I gave him a $350 gift in a bar of silver. It's fun to hold. I'm like, I like metal. Just going to say. Anyway, WendyLovesGold.com. WendyLovesGold.com. I got a message from somebody who said they were trying to get something there and they were sold out temporarily. I'm like, good. Let's go. Let's keep them at it. Let's keep them selling out.
Keep them busy.
855-927-5557.
You know what's a little disappointing?
Sir, what?
7,227 watching and only 2.6 rumble.
Come on,
didn't
guys.
Make it to 3.5 by the end of the show.
So look, your way to vote on whether you like me and is to go underneath the video screen here and find that bubble that's got the thumbs up and the thumbs down. Find the red WBR Army button. Move over to the right. That's the follow, right? Click that. It doesn't cost you anything, and we don't hound you. We just tell you when we're live, and it's 6 or 7 times a week. And then hit the thumbs up button. That's how you say, that's my girl. I'd love for you to. I'd love to get to 4K today.
Maybe they
rumble
rumble
in
for
the
me.
sky. Come on, we need to hit 3. I'm really hopeful that we can hit 3. Thank you. This whole coverage of this thing yesterday. That a lot of folks in Congress got. You know, this expanded travel list, this restricted list, it's a necessary firewall against documented security threats, period. Full stop. Countries exporting terrorism, cartel violence, or document fraud, right? They lose access until they fix their own vetting failures. This is what this is all about. If you're not going to clean up what's going on your end, we're not taking the people fleeing you on this end, period. It's not discrimination. It's basic sovereignty. When 90% of recent terror plots trace back to these very regions, suspending entry into this country is self-defense. It's not politics. It's called being a realistic leader. The narrow exceptions show this targets systemic risks, not individuals. Look, America's security isn't negotiable. And this is a president who's not making a deal on it. This is the deal. Take it or leave it. And leave it. And leave. All right, so I want to read you this from Politico because it's very interesting when you see the media all kind of go the same direction. This is what they do, right? So the Department of War, there's been questions about this narco-terrorism, these strikes, lethal kinetic strikes in the ocean, where we're blowing up bad people who are carrying bad things and want to do harm to our country, right? That's war. When you're killing more people in a year with those drugs than twice the number of Americans who died during 8 years of Vietnam, you're at war. War. Politico has this title, though, right? Can we all agree that the people in our government, in this administration, they choose to release certain information to us and not others for a reason? Do you get the vibe that it's because they're being evasive, that they're being somehow not transparent? Or is it that there are national security secrets and other things to protect that are none of our freaking business? And I don't know who the hell these Congress people are or who Politico is to think that because they showed up on the scene, all of the data needs to be theirs. How about you suck it? How's that? Does that work for everybody? It works for me. Headline Politico, Hegseth says he won't release full boat strike video. Now that headline is the same as Donald Trump with the picture of the Hawaiian Tropic models that they redacted the pictures of the faces of, right? To create the illusion that something nefarious is going on. Donald Trump sure doesn't want everybody to see who these people are. They must be models. They must be young people. He must be doing something. Is he a pedophile? And then it's like, well, no, if you take a step back, it's all a play to make you think that. This headline, Hegseth says he won't release full boat strike video. Well, it's the double tap. It's the September 2nd strike where they hit it with a drone. 2 dudes survived somehow. Act of God, I don't know. Their 9th life, I don't know. And drones that were hovering nearby that our military was watching, they saw the guys trying to flip the boat back over, the part of it, and rescue some of the drugs. Are those fishermen going out looking to check their lobster traps? Come on, Ed, let's go check the bait. No, they're carrying millions and millions of dollars of drugs to kill us. And so what's the decision to be made? Save the 2, swoop in, call Venezuela. Hey, Nick, can you fly a couple guys over? We've got a problem in the ocean. I think they need your help. No, you kill them. That's it. That's all. Story over. There's no debate. What's there to debate? So we can have them go through their due process. Well, maybe we should nurse them back to health before they die. Come on. What are we doing? And why does the Democrat Party support people who want to kill us? Whether it's the cartels, whether it's the human traffickers, right? Whether it's immigrants ripping us off. Why is everything they get behind America last? Either you pay for it or you die because of it. We have a president who says no. In fact, the answer is no. And in every language, that means no. Hegseth won't release full strike video. I'm going to go with the Department of War, and the secretary of it knows a thing or two more than we do, Politico. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's dig into this. Hegseth, Rubio, the narco-terrorist strike briefing, and President Trump ordering a blockade of all Venezuelan oil tankers. Oh boy, next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
I never remember them asking for Obama's plans on strikes.
He took out a lot of people, too.
Took out Americans. Collateral damage.
Brock, no.
I had someone ask me yesterday, are we going to war with Venezuela? I'm like, stop watching CNN and MSNBC. If we do, good.
right?
You don't want to see people. I don't want to see boots on the ground like majority of people, but how long have we been on this war on drugs? This is your brain on drugs.
100%. Take lean. Brock, the difference, give me the biggest difference in your life after losing 70 pounds.
Inflammation, better sleep, stop snoring, overall just feel better.
A lot of people,
life-changing.
Yeah, it is. It's life-changing. And a lot of people like change their lives and then put it right back on, and then change it again and then put it right back on, right? Weight cycling. It's really pretty bad for your body.
And depressing.
Yeah, and it just kicks you in the balls, I think. You feel good and then you start the purpose of life is not to starve yourself of every flavor and joy and pleasure that there is. You don't have to eat celery and starve yourself to slim down. But what you can do is get a helper. And that is what lean is. Lean is from Brickhouse Nutrition. Lean is, let's see, studied ingredients. Target weight loss in 3 specific ways. Helping with cravings is the biggest thing, right? I don't want to be hungry all the time. I don't want to have that hankering for salt or sweet or whatever it is. Take lean. Take lean.com. Take lean.com code Wendy, no /, just take lean.com. It also helps control your blood sugar, which is huge when you're losing weight. People are losing 70, 80 pounds on this. It is a dietary supplement that I think 2 capsules a day, and it does wonders for people, and it helps convert fat into energy. I'm all about that. I've got some zhuzh. Can we unzhuzhify my arse and I'll have more energy? I'll be all about it. I love bathing suit season, said no woman ever. So take lean. What if you started doing something now that gradually helped you lose 50, 60 pounds? By the time swimsuit season is back. I love that. Take lean.com. Promo code Wendy. You're going to get, 20% off. 20% off. I love it. I love it. I love just thinking about being in charge and having a friend in your pocket to help you. Please help me. All right. Nobody sees you do it. Let's go. I think you'll love it. And Brickhouse Nutrition is a great company. I got serious 4-hour sleep bags under my eyes. Oh, well. Let's see.
So what other schools are they waiting to hear back from?
What did they get? I think Chris also applied to North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Okay,
that and Notre Dame were pretty much pie in the sky sort of things. Bobby could still apply. The deadline isn't until after the holidays to Boston College, Joe's alma mater. But you have to weigh, and the decision is fantastic. You have to weigh the history of the university, how you feel about it, the climate, the people, where it is, its dedication to your major. Do you get a scholarship? Do you not? Right? So we'll see.
UNC would be nice. I don't have much garb from them. I have a hat from a visit. But Michael went to Clemson. Ryan goes to Tennessee.
They both got into both of those. So we'll see. It'll probably be one of those. I don't know if they'll split up. I know Bobby's dream has always been Clemson.
He was pretty pumped about Tennessee, though, too, he said.
It's just a special place. It's just a beautiful, special place. And I think they all appreciate the women. There is a Southern charm. Even in Knoxville, Tennessee, it's just lovely. They're not so crazy necessarily. And the weather is fantastic. And the politics were more amenable to probably theirs.
I just don't know what I could get. Maybe a sweatshirt.
Why is it always about you? Who gives a why are you getting anything? Just because I've been nice enough to buy you crap? Joe even looks for stuff for you now. He's like, oh, what size is Brock's head? I'm like, moon.
What? the constant shots. See, it's nice to have a tradition of when we visit schools, people get stuff.
When we visit schools.
Well, I feel like I'm there in
because
spirit.
you know a typical visit.
It's a store going.
A typical visit is a couple grand. It's usually like $3,000 or $4,000. You have to fly there, 2 rooms, all of this, all that, and then they bend you over in the bookstore, and the kids are like, oh, God forbid you shouldn't get something you want, and you get something you want. Ridiculous.
Yeah, just try to support.
Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So Trump is moving, as he has described it, as a literal armada in the Caribbean Sea. And he orders a blockage of all Venezuelan oil tankers. Let's read what he said is going on. He said, Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. It will only get bigger, and the shock to them will be like nothing they've ever seen. Until such time as they return to the United States of America, all of the oil, land, and other assets that they previously stole from us, Trump said on Truth Social. He accused the illegitimate Maduro regime of using the oil from the stolen oil fields to finance drug terrorism, murder, human trafficking, and other crimes. The illegitimate Maduro regime is using oil from these stolen oil fields, Trump wrote on Truth, to finance themselves, drug terrorism, human trafficking, murder, and kidnapping. For the theft of our assets and many other reasons, including terrorism, drug smuggling, and human trafficking, the Venezuelan regime has been designated a foreign terrorist organization, and therefore today I am ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. The illegal aliens and criminals that the Maduro regime has sent into the United States during the weak and inept Biden administration are being returned to Venezuela at a rapid pace. America will not allow criminals, terrorists, or other countries to rob, threaten, or harm our nation, and likewise will not allow a hostile regime to take our oil, land, or any other assets, all of which must be returned to the United States immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, as that story is developing, and I'll be honest with you, what he's talking about, he's speaking directly to Maduro. You robbed us. You've stolen from us. You've killed my people. No more. There's nuance there that you and I are not privy to. But Nicolas Maduro, he read that loud and clear. Now, here's an interesting story. So John Fetterman, senator from Pennsylvania, the guy who had the stroke, right? The guy who seems to still be perhaps the most lucid, common sense sounding person on Capitol Hill. Like, not on my bingo card, but this is what you've got. It's almost like unbelievably refreshing. Is the guy an absolute leftist? Yes. But is he willing to lie, cheat, steal, deceive for his side to win? I don't think so. So he's on with Chris Cuomo over on News Nation. And Chris Cuomo is talking about these Senate briefings where Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth were sitting down before a certain group of lawmakers. And they're like, look, this is what we're doing. They showed them video. This is how we know who these people are, sharing with them some intelligence. But you have to also know that the people you're briefing, some of them are enemies. Some of these people will put the American people at risk and national security at risk, and will rush out to Politico or to AP or to Reuters or to the New York Times or what have you, and spill the beans, even if it's something that's considered classified, top secret. So what is the Secretary of State, what is the Secretary of War supposed to do? Give everybody every detail? No. We're not able to be transparent with you because you cannot be trusted. And so that has Chris Cuomo's boxers in a bunch. And he asks John Fetterman last night about being a part of these Senate briefings and getting the details of these boat strikes. Okay, the boat strikes against narco-terrorists who have killed hundreds of thousands of Americans and would continue to do so unabated if President Trump didn't do what he did. Right? Message loud and clear? You'd think so, but it's been like 24 strikes. These people still think, you know what? I think we're going to be the one that makes it across the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, or whatever right now. Listen to John Fetterman as Chris Cuomo asks him about the left's narrative of basically indiscriminate willy-nilly strikes on random boats at sea. Listen.
What did you learn, Senator, that gave you any comfort that we're not heading into some kind of extended military exercise around Venezuela or in Venezuela?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was pretty comprehensive, and this idea, some things out in the media, it's kind of putting out this that the military is just picking off any boat that comes across. That's just not true. I mean, there's extensive intelligence, and they know exactly who's on that boat, and they know what's actually on that boat right now. And it's quite frequently they decline to take it and to move on those things. When they move on those kinetic kinds of strikes, they have absolute confidence that who's on it and what's on it, and that's exactly what it's about. They're not just going around randomly just shooting boats and those things. That's just not the fact.
Wow, in just 50 seconds there, the senator debunked the entire left talking point that Trump is a lunatic who's just killing people who are out trying to fish. Only a complete moron would believe that. Where's Tim Walz? Sorry. Now that'll be the first of 3 times that the senator from Pennsylvania will say to Chris Cuomo, these are not random. These are specifically designed. The intelligence is there. They showed us. And there are times when they don't strike because there are questions. And so they pull back. I'm confident what this is. Chris Cuomo continues. How about senators wanting a war powers resolution to make Trump go before Congress before launching any more of these strikes? Why did you vote against that, Senator Fetterman? This is great.
Why were you not willing to go along with Senator Rand Paul, a Republican obviously, and other Democrats with his war powers resolution to require the president to come and make a show to the Congress before continuing with unilateral military plans and actions?
Well, I think what's happening right now is consistent. I think that, to me, it's not unreasonable to compare that to what President Obama has been doing, during his presidency, and he was using drone hits, and he took out thousands of people and terrorists. And I, of course, if I was in the Senate at that time, I would have supported those as well too. That's the president, and you have some kind of discretion and kinds of things. Now, I don't think anyone in the Senate would support like a full-on land invasion or putting American boots on in Venezuela. But currently, right now, that's not what's happening. And there is extensive cooperation with nations in the region. And these are not just random strikes. They know exactly that it's in, and that's not, and again, it's been very clear that they decline on often kinds of boats when they can't be absolutely sure exactly what's on it and who's on it, including no women and children or anything.
All right, so that's the second time he's told Chris Cuomo, these aren't random. They're calculated. They've got the intel. They've gone through great lengths to get the intel. I want you to hear Senator Ruben Gallego, senator from Arizona, I believe. He's on MS Now right now. He talks about being pissed off that Trump is trying to get us into war with Venezuela. Hey, Ruben, it sounds like you're appreciative of the drug trade. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
So what do you think the response of the American people will be to what they're hearing tonight from you?
Well, hopefully they're pissed off. Hopefully they call the Republican senators and members of Congress and say that I don't want to go to war. But there's a reason why they're doing the way they're doing it. The reason they're slowly building up, saying we're going to go after these drug dealers first, then they're going after tankers, then they're going to close the airspace, then they're hoping Venezuela reacts in some hostile way to defend their own sovereignty, then we'll have to react, and then the president's going to come here and ask everyone to rally around the flag, and that's how we find ourselves in war. What I'm telling you is they're setting it all up to happen. Be aware. Be aware of what they're doing. They're slowly putting the pressure on Venezuela so they react, and so the American public gets used to us doing hostile acts. We went from putting sanctions to droning speedboats, and the American public hasn't reacted that bad. So what else are they going to continue doing until we finally find ourselves in war? But let's be clear. The goal of what they're doing right now is to get us into war. They're not going to be able to stop the drug trade. They're not effectively going to have to go after narcos in this way. At the end of the day, all they want to do is get rid of Maduro. And if they can get rid of Maduro through peaceful manner, they will. It's not working right now. If they trigger a war to happen, they'll gladly do it.
Senator, do you not realize that we already are at war? They've already killed more Americans than have died. In every single battle we've sent soldiers to. But Ruben Gallego's father, of course, Jose Angel Marin Larrea, is a drug dealer convicted in 1996 in Chicago for trafficking cocaine and marijuana, linked to the Juarez cartel from Chihuahua, Mexico. So I guess we support drugs more than we support American lives, Ruben. Is that correct? Audio soundbite number 3, John Fetterman, for the third time. Chris Cuomo says, look, these strikes, they're death sentences for drug dealers when the punishment, if you got caught dealing drugs here on land, it wouldn't be that strict. John Fetterman, for the third time, is like, dude, are you not listening?
It is essentially sending a message that the president of the United States says you get a death sentence if you are trafficking in drugs. And that's certainly not the sentence and punishment if you are convicted domestically, but isn't that what we're saying here? That, hey, we think you're trafficking in drugs, we're going to kill you. You okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think if you would describe when 75,000 Americans are dying overdoses, and they absolutely know that what's on those boats and who is on those boats as well too, and those are organizations and gangs that are designed as essentially terrorist organizations for that. Now, I know it's different kinds of definitions here, but for right now, I emerged from that now, and I feel comfortable where they are not just blowing up random boats, and it doesn't matter who's on it. If there's a boat there, they're going to take it out. They're actually very, very careful to make sure they're hitting the right people that have the right kinds of cargoes.
Do you think Chris Cuomo did not get what he wanted? Correct. He did not. Tried 3 times. 3 strikes and you're out. And by the way, Chris, we should remind you, even though you know, Barack Obama ordered more than 500 drone strikes that killed as many as 3,800 people, including Americans, and between 384 and 807 civilians, women, children, elderly. So do us a favor, Chris, and suck on the pearls that you're clutching. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, just terrible details about the end of Rob Reiner and his wife, but we're going to bounce back. We're going to talk about the son next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Other than that, Chris, I've got nothing. I'm going to tell you this 3 different times. These aren't random strikes. This isn't indiscriminate. This isn't willy-nilly like, what do you think? Ed? I like that one. Let's go for that one. Okay. It's not like Dumb and Dumber where they're like, come on. This is serious. This is a foreign terrorist organization. Okay. Anywho, I so desperately have to go to the bathroom, but I'm going to wait because I want to be able to talk to you guys about my favorite skincare brand. I just found out that my massager heats up and a massager. I didn't realize it was a massager. I thought it was just a heater thing. So they do this neck thing, right? So women, we know this stuff happens. It is what it is. It's going to happen, but I'm going to fight it tooth and freaking nail. So there's this gel that put on, and then you take the massager and the thing, and it heats up, and you're like, it's very soothing. I'll get back to you if it works. But I love Genucel. Right now they're doing a great deal. Extra 10% off, Wendy Bell Radio listeners. Already, what is 70%? I mean, it's just stupid. I'm like, how are you people making any money? I don't understand this, but here's the offer. I'm going to give it to you. Extra 10% off for you. Genucel.com. Use my name and you have / on this one. Genucel.com / Wendy. Use Wendy at checkout. You'll get free shipping and an extra 10% off. This is 70% off their complete skincare package. It's featuring the Gen 90 lotion, which I use to visibly reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, under eye bags, and even the laugh lines around the mouth. Say goodbye to those wrinkles and eye bags that give away your age and get compliments this holiday season. And when you order today, Genucel is going to ship you there. Top-selling Genucel Deep Firming Vitamin C Serum. Your body just screams for that. It's fantastic. And the Genucel XV Anti-Aging Moisturizer in your complete collection package. Treat yourself this holiday for 10 years off your appearance, right? Genucel.com. Shipping free, 10% off. Use promo code Wendy, Genucel.com / Wendy.
Maybe I'd like to use that.
You want to use the massager, the vibrating massager?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually how it sounds. And it heats up and it's kind of nice. And then afterwards, you put this other glop on. But it's never greasy. It never makes your fingers oily or anything. It doesn't leave your skin feeling anything other than moisturized. I love it. It's my skincare. I mean, literally, you're like, I'd like to order that. This is what comes in the mail. And all of those goodies. This will last months and months and months and months. You got a woman in your life? Genucel.com / Wendy. It's easy.
You don't share with me. Maybe I could stay man pretty.
You know what? You can actually have this because I have one at home. I just want to see and get video of you using it. Hey, man. I would use anything. I have really weird hair today. But what's different about today? I know, right? I love that Dr. Mike's wife asked about my hair care products. And I'm like, really? You want to get some of this?
Well, she has curly hair.
She does. She's like, yeah, my curls don't look like yours. And I'm like, frizzy? Frizzy and fly away. I literally find things in my hair. Oh, there's a pin.
There's a Cheeto.
Oh, there. That's just rude.
Dots.
Oh, my goodness. Pistachio.
Pretzels. A beer can.
Oh, my God. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. The Bourne Identity is one of my favorite movies. I've seen it probably 50 times. Matt Damon, Jason Bourne, a product of the government, kind of a wayward guy. They break him and build him into an assassin, right? And he finds out along the way there's this whole network of other assassins that are all triggered by a text message. They've got all these passports. They go all over the place, kill people. You're like, wow, that's such a stretch. But there's one point where the people who programmed Jason Bourne's mind, they're like, he's haywire. He's off the grid. What's going on? And one of the ladies involved with his programming and whatnot, with his experiments to train him on how to be a lethal killer, right? Says, scary version, he's going rogue. He's off on his own. He's off the grid. He's doing it by himself. He's not controlled anymore by us. This is Donald Trump, not as an assassin, but as the fiercest defender of the United States that this country has ever had. There is nothing random like Jason Bourne. There's nothing random. It's all connected. It's all planned. There isn't something that's just like, oh, that happened and I wasn't ready. There are always contingencies. Trump knows what's going on. And he knows that drugs are killing our people. And I guarantee you, some of you watching or listening to me right now have a son or a daughter who is out of control. And you might have had to lock them out, kick them out, because they steal from you and they make you feel unsafe. And you are up at night and you are scared to death. Donald Trump wants that to stop. He wants you never to go through, obviously, what the Reiner family has. Let's get you an update before we bounce into more detail on the next hour. I want you to get this NBC report about the Reiner son, Nick, charged. This is what we have known overnight.
These are some of the most serious charges that a DA's office can bring against anyone.
Tonight, Nick Reiner, son of Hollywood royalty, charged with murder for the brutal slayings of his father, Rob, and mother, Michelle.
These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with the special circumstance of multiple murders.
The district attorney confirming today that a knife was used, which could lead to a more severe punishment. The Reiners' bodies were found inside the couple's bedroom, according to police, who today shared new details about how officers brought Nick Reiner into custody.
He was arrested in a public area, in the Exposition Park area near the University of Southern California campus. He was approached by the officers and he was arrested without incident.
The 32-year-old Reiner, now represented by high-profile attorney Alan Jackson, known for successfully defending Karen Reed in her murder trial. Reiner expected to be arraigned soon.
Every inmate has to be medically cleared before they can be transported to court. He has not been medically cleared.
And tonight, resurfaced interviews are giving a peek into the complicated relationship between Reiner and his parents.
Well, I think I'm lucky in the sense that I have parents that care about me.
Appearing on a podcast several years ago, Nick described trashing his parents' guest house.
I got totally spun out on uppers, and I was up for days on end, and I started punching out different things in my guest house. I think I started with the TV, and then I went over to the lamp, and then everything in the guest house got wrecked.
Tonight, authorities calling the case heartbreaking and deeply personal.
Their loss is beyond tragic, and we will commit ourselves to bringing their murderer to justice.
Morgan Chesky joins us tonight from the courthouse there in L.A. And Morgan, Nick Reiner could face the death penalty for these charges?
Yeah, Tom, potentially. These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without parole or the death penalty. But tonight, that decision has yet to be made.
How many families have been ruined by addiction? He was on meth, up for days, right? Gone to Conan O'Brien's house, started acting crazy, asking people there, are you famous? It got loud. Rob and Michelle left, went home. The dots are not hard to connect. This president, with these actions, with these boats, with these cartels, with the foreign terrorist organization monikers, he's saying to everybody, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. It shouldn't happen to anybody. And if we can save one family from going through what that family has, isn't it freaking worth it? It is. So the story President Trump never wants to happen again. Preventing family tragedies like the Reiners begins with stopping the drugs. And we'll talk about that next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I will be right back after I put on my overalls. Sorry.
drugs have become the new cancer. You know, whose family or whose life hasn't been touched by someone that's OD'd or died from? It's just, I mean, what can you say? Who wants to see anyone go through that? Watch parents get ravished by kids with drugs or kids with any kind of problems. It puts a strain on the entire family. Because you don't want to walk away from them. Did you guys see the stuff on the Susie Wiles thing? Does anyone really? Does anyone really care? I couldn't get into it. Like I mean, I saw the clips and what she said, and if it's just not another thing to try to put out there that this administration is all the infighting and the no one gets along and look at the chaos. I'm just let them do their job. Let them go find the bad guys. Let them go find the kids. Let it all come out. You know, let it all come out. I don't care if they get their friends or they doing a good job, but I mean that's all that matters. Do your job. Do what you were elected to do. Good.
Much better. Woo! My teeth aren't swimming. All right, let's talk about the healthy fat. Dr. Gundry made this wonderful product that worked for him. And he's like, well, if it worked for me and I lost 70 pounds, why wouldn't I make bottles of it, jars of it, and get it out to every single person who wants to have it? And then it landed on my desk and I was like, what's this? And I started drinking it and I was like, dang, even if you don't want to lose weight, it's delicious. It's delicious. And I will say, as a dietary supplement, as a meal substitute, it's phenomenal. You've heard me talk about it ad nauseum. I will continue to do so as I show you the seriousness of the situation here. I know, right? My goodness, I have watermelon over there. Blueberry's almost gone. But this is what it is. Why drink just water when you can have this, when you can put a scoop of this in your water and not be hungry for 5 hours? Why wouldn't you want this in your life instead of just water when you can mix it with water and then, oh, I don't know, lose a couple pounds a week? Slowly, methodically, carefully, surgically, beautifully. Yes. Another tool to have. The Healthy Fat is what it's called. thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. That's how you get to it. It's not going to, I mean, MCT Wellness is the name of the drink, but how you get there, landing page, thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. And there's a video. It's been watched by like 25 million people. And it's super interesting to watch the video. And I encourage you do so. Because he goes through, Dr. Gundry goes through, and he was once a fatty Bobalatti. And he goes and he's like, look, I studied this stuff. I know what foods are good for you, what foods are not. You think you're doing this for breakfast and that it's great for you? Well, you're absolutely killing yourself and destroying your ability to lose weight, which is why so many of us are like, I do everything right and it's not working. Well, you might be surprised. So that's why I love thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. And it's delicious. So good.
Am I the only one who hasn't seen Born?
Oh, I love it.
Is it worth me going home and watching?
Oh my gosh. Yes. You fool. Yes.
See, do you watch the Mission Impossibles?
No. No, but I grew up watching the one with Raymond,
so did I.
with Raymond Burr.
Yeah.
Right.
Not Raymond Burr.
No, yeah, what it was. Yeah. Mission Impossible. No, I was thinking about Ironside. Isn't he? That's who he was.
Yeah, it was that Peter guy.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And yes, I did. But
The
not
Tom Cruise ones.
ones.
Say
Yeah.
what you want about Tom Cruise, and
I think he's great. Whatever. He's weird. Whatever.
Yeah, he's weird, but
I'm perfect. So.
Those movies are fantastic.
Right.
But what about, like, you're not into James Bond?
Let's just say that 25 years ago, I stopped. Peter Graves. Thanks, Cal. 25 years ago, I stopped really watching movies. I got busy having kids. And so I don't.
Maybe if you would have watched more movies, you wouldn't have so many kids.
There's not a lot of let's just hang out. And so there are a lot of movies I've never seen. I've never seen any of the Rockies. You know, I watched that one.
Really? You got to pick a fight with me?
No, I watched four because you're like, it's the best movie ever. And I was like, whatever.
I never watched 007 until I married Kate. And she was a huge Bond fan.
Did she say Bond? Like
and
you
I'm
do?
like, oh, okay, I'll watch
Kelly's
it.
laughing.
And now I'm like, I love those movies.
Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. Home exterior renovation. I trust them. I love them. They're good people. They're family. They're friends. They're trustworthy. They're hardworking. They stand by the work they do. Their workers are phenomenal. They're neat. They're orderly. They're respectful and responsive. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. That's all you need to know. Southwestern Pennsylvania. It's the one reason it doesn't suck to live here. Yes, IrelandContracting.com. That was pretty good. That was 30 seconds.
This is for tonight. Trump's
I was like,
address to the nation.
I'm like, I don't know what you're doing tonight. Apparently watching Jason
Sleeping.
Bourne.
4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with health care and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. You know, I grew up in Southern California in the 1970s, right? I was born in 1970. I graduated college or high school in 88. And because I was in Southern California in a town called Calabasas, it was getting kind of hot with the Hollywood folks. And we had some celebrities that would come to our school. I've told you I went to school for a time with Ricky Schroeder. Frankie Avalon's son, Joey, was in my class. Great guy. There's a bunch of others, but of course, the two that I would think would be the biggest were Eric and Lyle Menendez, who killed their parents, right? No, they didn't. Of course they did. Anyway, they killed their parents. So, yes, I went to high school with these two guys. And I remember being a freshman at the University of Colorado in Boulder. And in fact, Terry Moran was the first court TV reporter, if I remember correctly, because in the sorority house, I must have been a sophomore. In the sorority house, we had a TV in the main sitting area. And it was on, and this was the beginning of court TV. And it was fascinating to go over these court cases. This would be, you know, a few years before OJ, et cetera, et cetera. But watching, it was surreal. I'm like, I went to high school with these guys. Briefly, they weren't there all 4 years, but this was stunning. It was stunning, the details that were coming out. And of course, the boys would allege that they were molested by their dad. I believe that they say their mom allowed it to happen, et cetera, et cetera. And what happened? Jose and Kitty Menendez were shotgunned to death inside their home. It had to be Just horrendously gruesome. And that's what I have been thinking about, flashing back to watching the grisly testimony of the police detectives who had to come out and go to court and report what they found, and the 911 operator, having to take questions about Eric placing the phone call or whomever it was. And then 911 called him back and he answered, not frantically, but hello. Didn't add up, right? So whatever you know about the Menendez case or how you feel about it, I had flashbacks of that, thinking about Nick Reiner and him allegedly killing his parents. And I want to read something to you because I don't think oftentimes we get an inside look at addiction. And I found this article in the Telegraph. And it's entitled The Sleepless Meth-Fueled Unraveling of Rob Reiner's Son. Because I don't really think any of us should sit back in our living rooms and coach President Trump's move about Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, drugs, cartels, human trafficking, until we realize what happens to families. It was meant to be a festive holiday party thrown by late-night television host Conan O'Brien, full of industry, small talk, and seasonal greetings, but the mood inside the gathering soured before the night was out. Guests recalled raised voices and a heated argument between Rob Reiner, his wife Michelle, and their son Nick. Reiner and Michelle left the party early after a confrontation unfolded in front of some of the industry's biggest stars. This is according to TMZ. A source told People magazine that moments before the fight, the row, Nick was freaking everyone out, acting crazy, I kept asking people if they were famous. And it would be the last time the director was seen in public. Just 24 hours later, the Reiners were found dead at their Los Angeles home, their throats slit. Their 32-year-old son was arrested on murder charges. Detectives are now piecing together the final days of Reiner's life and his turbulent relationship with his son. Nick, who had struggled with addiction for years, was said to have been living in a guest house at his parents' $13.5 million home. Family friends told of how Michelle, a producer and actress, had become increasingly concerned about his mental health in recent weeks. In the grip of drugs, Nick had distanced himself from the family, but having returned to his parents' home in Los Angeles, he frightened them with lengthy, chaotic binges, an insider told the Daily Mail. He would do meth and not sleep for days and then have outbursts, breaking things, punching walls, the source said, claiming that Rob and Michelle had threatened to kick him out of the house if he didn't stop using. In September, the family appeared united as they posed alongside Nick and their daughter, Romy, their elder son, Jake, and his wife, Maria, at the premiere for Spinal Tap 2. The fragility of that unity became apparent to all at Conan O'Brien's party. Afterwards, on Sunday, a masseuse went to the Reiner 6-bedroom home to help the couple relax. She rang the bell, knocked several times, and left when no one answered. It was unusual behavior for the couple and prompted Romy, who lives across the road, to visit their home, where she discovered her parents. She reportedly told police that an unnamed family member should be a suspect because they were dangerous. The couple's death, shocking family and friends. They were among my closest friends. We raised our kids together, said Maria Shriver. We had dinner this past week, and they were in the best place in their lives. Nick struggled with drug addiction, which began in his early teens and left him living intermittently on the streets, had long been documented. In 2016, at the age of 22, he claimed to have gone to rehab 17 times and said that he'd been left homeless after repeatedly refusing help. I was homeless in Maine. I was homeless in New Jersey. I was homeless in Texas. I spent nights on the street. I spent weeks on the street. It was not fun, he told People magazine. If I wanted to do it my way and not go to the programs they were suggesting, then I had to be homeless, he added, seemingly referring to his family. His experience later became the story of a semi-autobiographical film made with his father, entitled Being Charlie, The film followed the entitled drug-addicted son of a high-profile actor turned political candidate in California. Nick, who admitted in interviews that he didn't bond with his father, said that the film had brought the pair closer together. Appearing later on a podcast called Dopey, however, he outlined some of his struggles with the film's promotional requirements. He took issue with the suggestion that the film charted the character's journey to sobriety, saying the end had left things more open-ended. I felt like I didn't get to express how I truly felt in it, he said, adding that he had 1/3 of the creative control technically, but 1/8 realistically. Interesting. Nick told the podcast he was unwilling to go on talk shows and present himself as a poster boy for recovery, as he was never pursuing full abstinence from drugs. I said to them, I don't want to do this. I'm not a quote-unquote sober guy. And after he went on the shows, he added he would smoke marijuana. Asked if his father knew, he said yeah, adding his family was very understanding. The Reiners expressed regret over how they handled their son's addiction in a 2015 interview with the Los Angeles Times. When Nick told us it wasn't working for him, we wouldn't listen. We were desperate. And because the people had diplomas on the wall, we listened to them when we should have been listening to our son, Reiner said. Michelle added, we were so influenced by these people. They would tell us he's a liar, that he's trying to manipulate us, and we believed them. And Nick described how he first ended up in rehab, which he said he attended 18 times in his teenage years during another appearance on Dopey. At the age of 14, he'd attended a party at a friend's house in L.A. I've been taking pills, including Percocet and Xanax. One boy passed out on a bed and became non-responsive. Nick traveled with the boy's family to the hospital, where he told a stranger who had been through Alcoholics Anonymous what had happened while waiting outside. The woman called his mother, despite Nick's protests, and when Michelle arrived, the woman made him repeat the story to her. I was seconds away from not being a tragedy, Nick claimed, saying he was sent to rehab after the incident, where he shared a room with a heroin addict who for 126 days told him how good shooting up heroin is. The seed planted in his mind, Nick said, and 3 or 4 years later, he and another friend he met through rehab went out to pick up heroin from Los Angeles' Skid Row. Asked whether he blamed his parents for his addiction, he said, we always talk about that because I don't think they should. I don't think they should feel that way at all. It's always a person's choice to do something. While many close friends knew about the Reiners' struggles with their son, the couple would rarely give too much detail, friends told the New York Times. Reiner was one of the best-loved directors in Hollywood with his hits. The source told the New York Post, page 6, that Nick hated himself for not being as talented or prolific or beloved as his dad or granddad, Carl. On Monday, jail records show Nick was being held on $4 million bail. That is the story, at least a small scrape of it. That story is going on in homes all over America, whether it's meth or heroin or bourbon or beer. That story is the one Trump wants never to be told again. That's not an oligarch. It's just not. When we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program, did you hear about this J6er who realized video played at his trial that likely helped lead to his conviction and imprisonment was that BBC BS edited clip of Trump at the Ellipse? And now he's like, you know what? I'm suing him too. And you're going to know this J6er's name next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I hated him. I did not like Rob Reiner. Loved his shows. I thought he was a toxic asshole. Right? And you know what? He probably found some type of ownership in going after Trump. He probably found some kind of, I don't know, hobby in creating this Russia, investigative outreach, whatever with Clapper and Brennan.
It made him relevant.
Or Comey and Brennan. It maybe it made him feel like
because CNN would have him on.
He could transfer the spiraling. I have no control over what's going on with someone I love so much, but I can control how much I hate you, and I can lean into it every damn day. That's what I think happened, to a degree. To a degree. Do I now? I have no idea. I'm talking out of my butt. I don't know. Seems logical. Kelly Morgan, Morgane's Fitness. It's called 90 Ignite, 90 days. Look, if you have not discovered your abdominal muscles in a while, and you're like, yeah, I'm not really sure they're there. If you, instead of having abs of steel, you like have buns of a burger, right? You're like, I'm ready to change this. Well, it's one thing to lose weight. That's a huge thing, but you've got to get strong. You got to get your core strength going. And as you lose weight, if you're working out in conjunction with it, you're less likely to have, this or that. And that's what 90 Ignite is all about, giving you the tools, food, the meals, and the exercise to take charge, to do it yourself. And look, you don't have to go to a gym if you're not comfortable going to places like that. If you are, go to Morgane's Fitness in Western Pennsylvania. If you live in Somerset or Cambria counties, I don't know why you don't join there. It's affordable. The people are patriots. She has a plaque when you walk in. It's like proud supporter, proud sponsor of the Wendy Bell radio program. I love it, right? Morgane's Fitness, MORGAINZ Fitness.com. I sure feel like I have been remiss in doing an ad here. What have I forgotten? Did Healthy Cell? Oh, I didn't do Sniper yet. We'll do that at the bottom.
I will say there's a lot of bad takes on the chat with Christmas movies.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. A lot of bad takes.
Pittsburgh Disc Institute, 412-906-9600. Look, just like I talk about Dr. Simkovich and what he's doing with my friend, Dr. Rafferty has changed the lives of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Taking pain out of your life is a game changer. What a game changer. If you cannot roll over in bed without being like, ugh, you've got a serious problem. And if it's a bulging or herniated disc, before you get surgery, call the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh. You're like, I'm not coming to Pittsburgh. Oh, you're not? Because they might make you an offer you can't refuse. It's called 98% success, non-surgical. What? Your discs can grow back? I know. I didn't believe it either. But I do because I know it works. 412-906-9600. Pittsburgh Disc Institute.com. Okay?
Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Trading Places. Absolutely. Without question.
Not a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
No, it's not.
It is.
You're going to tell me Die Hard's a Christmas movie too?
Yes,
no,
I would.
See?
Yes,
there
I would.
you go. These are the
like,
bad takes on the
I
chat.
know. You'll be like, it's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful life.
Oh my gosh. Don't you sully. It's a wonderful life.
I'm not. It's a great movie.
You're going to start a fight.
I would not want to sit down and watch it with you.
We're fighting.
Now, if I can see Bruce Willis running around bloody without a...
We're fighting.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So the president is suing the BBC. The snobs over at the BBC who had the audacity to submit after the suggestion that they had selectively edited his audio from the ellipse on January 6th, 5 years ago, because they did. I mean, it's not even close. Like, there's no way they can be like, oh, shucks. We shouldn't have spliced out the 46 minutes between the beginning of that soundbite and the end of that one to make it sound like Trump was saying, go riot, go be insurrectionists. You know what you're supposed to do. Go do it, right? No, that's not what he said. So he's suing for $10 billion. And I love as Joe Biden, the most voted for president in American history, had $0 given to his presidential library fund in the last year of his presidency. I mean, really? That's the biggest kick in the drawers. I'm just going to say, right? Trump has already gotten $53 million from all of his lawsuits, ABC, CBS, Meta, And who knows? He can make that thing go sky high with his $10 billion lawsuit against the BBC. Now, this was not on my bingo card this morning when I woke up. Enrique Tarrio, January 6th, or if I'm not mistaken, was not even in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. And nevertheless, he was arrested. He was prosecuted. He was found guilty, and he was thrown away for essentially, 18 years or whatever it was? Because of what he could have done. Because that makes sense. Well, Enrique Tarrio figures out, after Trump sues, he figures out that the video that the BBC selectively edited to make it sound like Trump inspired people at the Capitol to go haywire, he realized that video was played at his own trial. And that it was likely part of the reason he was convicted. And he's like, what? I want you to hear him on this Lindell TV interview. Listen.
This clip was played at my trial. This exact clip that the BBC played was played at our trial. So not only did it affect the jury pool or affected the president himself, it affected justice, right? And in this case, it was people that were rabid anti-Trumpers in the jury pool. And this did not help the situation at all. By showing those words by the president, I think maybe we might take decisive action against the BBC also. But you also got to think about this, and it's one of the reasons why we're suing the DOJ. The DOJ knew that those weren't the words by the president, and they knew everybody would be fooled by this BBC clip, because it kind of, if you look at it, it kind of looks like it just like flows. It almost looks like one entire clip. And they knew this, and they still brought this forward in front of the jury. And it wasn't, again, until a couple of weeks ago that I figured out that, no, wait, this is not his words. I think they were like 40 something minutes apart. They weren't even close to each other. He wasn't even talking about the same thing.
The Department of Justice, i.e. Merrick Garland, knew. That's not what Trump said. And they went after these January 6ers using that as evidence. It's disgraceful. Let's review what he said, what Trump said. We'll hear the edited clip first, and then it's spliced right back to back with what was really said. It's disgusting.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
You know what I don't understand? How does he say, and all, even if what they edited was what he had actually said, what does that prove? And we fight like hell. These games, these semantic games the left wants to play are so despicable. The only way to dismantle them is the equivalent of blowing up narco terrorists. $10 billion lawsuit. You want to mess with us? You want to continue lying about me? You want to put out some fake headlines? Just remember this when you do. I have $53 million in my library fund, and I haven't even served one full year of my second term. How much more can I add, says the president. Who's next? The DOJ, knowing what it was doing, was wrong. Well, it wasn't just about what the president said. They knew they had no probable cause to raid Mar-a-Lago. The FBI said so. We don't have cause. And the DOJ said, roll them. We're going in. Oh, yeah. Proof of that. Oh, my. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I don't know what the hell's going on over here on X, but we've got almost 5,000 people. We almost have as many people watching on X as we have watching on Rumble. Now, I'm going to go with the X people because we only have 3.1 Rumbles, and that's just criminal. And I expect more of you Rumble people.
No.
Hey, I love that you guys are here. I have no idea why we have so many people beyond my
They probably heard you say
stunning beauty. What?
They probably heard you say something disparaging about It's a Wonderful Life.
No.
And their outrage and ire brought them here.
I'm not a big Christmas movie girl.
Come on.
Brock, who's more likely to loll around and loaf on the couch? You or me? Go.
Me, of
Yes,
course.
okay. It's not my MO. I just don't
National
do it.
Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Elf, even for a newer
Never
one.
saw it.
You sit on a throne of lies. There's so many good ones. Like, what are you talking about?
Shut up. I don't do stuff like that. I don't sit still. I'm missing a gene. It's called the sit still gene.
No, there are so many good ones out there. The one with Cratchit, you guys will know that one. The black, and you got to go black and white. You have to go black and white.
What's Cratchit?
Yeah, the Christmas. You guys will all know.
Oh, you're dropping stuff without full details. Great. See, this is how you get fake news. That's all I'm saying.
Come on, guys, don't leave me hanging.
Oh, leave him hanging. He just mocked me for not watching.
In a Christmas Carol. Thank you. And for the kids, and I say kids because I watch it every year still. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Never even heard of it. No, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh! How do you have children? How do you have children?
We still haven't watched Brewster's Millions. And we got multiple DVD copies of it.
Your children have been so
sheltered.
Not sheltered, abused. That's abusive. They've never seen Emmett Otter's Jug Band.
Guys, we need 3.5. Look, 320 people. If you're on X, get a Rumble account stat. I need you. I don't know what
You've
you're
never
about.
seen It's a Wonderful Life.
I have. It's fine. What?
No, Hallmark does not have good Christmas movies. Stop with your nonsense. See, these are the bad takes.
Wow, you're very sensitive about this.
Yeah.
Oh, a little dark.
I mean, there are so many good ones. And sometimes,
okay, well, I like Trading Places. It's Christmassy. Yes, it's.
There's a difference between a Christmas movie and a movie that happens at Christmas
shut your
time.
big pie hole. Listen to me. Did you watch that with your mom?
What?
It's a Wonderful Life.
No.
Okay. When did you first see it?
Probably in my 20s.
Okay. Well, I watched Trading Places with my family, and it was a tradition every Christmas.
Okay.
Every Christmas Eve, we watch Trading Places.
Doesn't make it a Christmas movie. Just means you watched it at a Christmas
To
time.
me, it's a Christmas movie.
It's still a bad take.
You guys, it was really sunny out earlier, so there you go. All right. How you doing? All right. Look, we have different lives. Whatever. I'm right. You're wrong. Okay.
I mean,
it's like being married.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Disinfectwithsniper.com.
Not even Disinfect with Sniper can clean up your poor Christmas movie watching. That's all I'm going to say.
Disinfectwithsniper.com. I used Sniper this morning. We have a powder room, and like everybody on the first floor, and it tends to clean it every single day. You've got people coming in, people coming out. You have no idea who's coming, and so you want it to be spick and span. So you literally, I go in and I'm like with this. Okay, Sniper. And then I just let it sit. And I went and I did some work. And then I went in about a half hour later and I wiped everything down. There was no scrubbing. After that, it smells perfect. I'm like, it's so fresh in here. It doesn't smell like chemicals. You're not like, when you're using it. And by the way, the Knockout, the other one, Knockout. So I'm at I had my husband's car yesterday and I had to take it to the shop. And afterwards I filled it up and I got gas all over my favorite gloves and it reeked. And I went, knockout. Pew, pew, pew. Literally 20 seconds later, no smell. No smell. It was magic. Magic. Disinfect with sniper.com. Their products are the best freaking products. Just saying. And they've got that special for the rest of the week. All of the Hunt Chef spices, all 12 of them, they're usually $10 each. $100. So you get 2 for free. In honor of Yokel's 50th birthday over there. Hunt Chef spices.
I don't know if I can work with you anymore.
Eat what you kill. That's a great motto. Is that a great motto? Eat what you kill, right? I'm starving, by the way. Who could go for a huge steak? Could you go for a steak? It's not on my menu tonight. It's shrimp. Got to go home and marinate some shrimp.
That's a shrimp one. The flavor.
Oh, yeah. I love that you're all fussy that I don't.
Stop talking. You're
radio program. You know, Enrique Tarrio, January 6th, wrongly prosecuted, wrongly convicted, wrongly incarcerated, rightly pardoned. He says, you know what? They use at my trial a selectively edited clip of Donald Trump, of the President of the United States, at the ellipse. It's so disgusting. They convicted me. And the DOJ knew better. They knew it was garbage. Don't tell me that the BBC was like, well, I'm sorry, we didn't know. No, you have to actively make a cut, and then you make another cut, and then you delete what's in between, and you go, and alas, there is your deceptive soundbite. If you can't trap Donald Trump by wiretapping him, you're like, he's got to be doing something. We're all scumbags. He's got to be one too. Let's wiretap him. And they're like, there's nothing. I got nothing. All right, what do we do next? Earl, get in here. Look, anything you got? What do you got? Well, I know a guy. Who do you know? Well, his name's Christopher Steele. And okay, just do it. Right? That's how we got President Trump like to go to hotels that Barack Obama and Michelle Obama stayed in and have hookers urinate on him. Like, what? It's so stupid. Right? And then when that didn't work, I heard him on a phone call. It sounded like it was a quid pro quo. He's going after his political opponent, Joe Biden. Impeach him, right? And then when that didn't work, well, we'll impeach him again. And then they're like, oh, let's bring out that hot mess, E. Jean Carroll. I think a lot of people think rape is sexy. Even Anderson Cooper was like, what? Right? How many people do they need to trot out for the guy? Do you really think they thought he had classified? Do you really think he had like the nuclear codes? Because that's what they were like. He left with all sorts of stuff. We have to raid Mar-a-Lago. Well, a bunch of new emails say they knew it was garbage. The FBI was like, Houston, this is super sketch. And the DOJ was like, do it anyway. Can't you hear no brain Merrick Garland? Do it anyway. Because that's what's going on here. Do we have any questions about why this president was no fan of Rob Reiner's? Why this president is no fan of Merrick Garland's, of Barack Obama's, of Hillary Clinton's, of Joe Biden's, of any of these scumbags, of Comey, of Clapper, of Brennan, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, all of them. Name it. How much time do you have? They've all been for him to the point that they rifled through his wife's unnie drawer. Okay? Ew. So the Federalist has an article today, and I think it's very important because this is serious. It's so absurd. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to ruin his marriage, right? Destroy his reputation, destroy his brand, and destroy America by keeping you and me from having him. FBI believed it lacked probable cause to raid Mar-a-Lago, but did so anyway. Well, that's a headline today at thefederalist.com. The FBI did not believe it had probable cause to raid President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in 2022, but did it anyway after pressure from then-President Joe Biden's Department of Justice. Who was in charge of the Department of Justice at the time, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, the Attorney General, Merrick Garland. This is newly uncovered emails released by Senator Chuck Grassley's office, showing that officials at the FBI and the DOJ communicated about FBI concerns about the warrant in the months leading up to the August raid. In one June 1st email, an unidentified FBI assistant special agent in charge wrote to FBI official Anthony Riedlinger, very little has been developed related to who might be culpable for mishandling the documents. The FBI field office in Washington has been drafting a search warrant affidavit related to these potential boxes, but has some concerns that the information is single source, has not been corroborated, may be dated. What do you mean, sir? Special agent in charge guy? That there's somebody up there being like, hurry, you got to go in. They've got a bunch of stuff. And that person's probably Merrick Garland. Who else is going to get the FBI to act? Notably, the unnamed FBI official, the same agent described the potential boxes at Mar-a-Lago, potential boxes, as presumably of the same type that were sent back to the National Archives and Records Administration in January. Notably, the unnamed FBI official said that while they continue down the path towards a search warrant, they believe that a reasonable conversation with the former president's attorney, right, ought not to be discounted. Maybe we should talk to Trump's lawyers and be like, look, we've heard that there's some stuff and we want to make sure, because Trump was cooperating with the archives. He was working with them. He was like, look, I had to get out pretty quick. We threw a bunch of stuff in boxes. We loaded the boxes onto a truck. We had to get out of the Oval Office. We did so. I haven't had time. I'm sorry. I've been a little busy. But we're going to go through this stuff. And they say, well, to hell with you. We're going to just raid your house. It made no sense. A separate email sent weeks after the situation I just read to you, to all these different people were redacted, but said, hey, we haven't generated any new facts. But keep being given draft after draft after draft, absent a witness coming forward with recent information about classified information on the site at Mar-a-Lago. Like, at what point is it fair to table this? FBI agents were like, this is super sauce. What are we doing? What are we doing? Because they impeached Trump for a phone call with Zelensky in which he said, there's a lot of corruption there, and you should probably look into that. And lo and behold, who was being corrupt with Ukraine? Oh, the Biden crime family syndicate. It's so shocking, right? And they impeached him for that. But this, the agents were like, this is super sketchy. Another email dated July 29th noted that the scope of the search was being widened. Well, we have something specific, but that's not really hitting the mark. We're not sticking the landing. So let's broaden it a little bit. Let's look for everything, including Melania's underwear. Right? And Barron's baseball card collection. Let's go and make sure we can look at that. So all of these emails back and forth that Grassley is uncovering submit that the agents who are being expected to go into Mar-a-Lago, the president's private home, and rifle through his private spaces, including his office, including bedrooms, were like, I'm not comfortable with this. This has never been done before. This seems like a stretch. This seems like a stretch of justice. The FBI raided Mar-a-Lago on August 8th. Special counsel Jack Smith then brought charges against Trump, stemming from the raid, as part of Democrats' Get Trump lawfare. And Smith, of course, alleged Trump mishandled classified documents. His prosecution against Trump was dismissed last July after Judge Aileen Cannon found his appointment unconstitutional, and then Attorney General Merrick Garland lacked the authority to appoint him. Always watch who they blame. Whatever the Democrats say the other side is doing, you know as well as I, is a really good suggestion that that's in fact what we should be looking at them for doing. What this president has been accused of, and that none of it is stuck, right? That none of the indictments, the wall-to-wall news coverage, the deceptive editing, the bogus headlines. I read a couple to you today that based on how you choose your words, you can really predispose a reader to a bias. It's almost like that's what's done on a daily basis. And still through all of this, Trump survived. They listened to his conversations. They spied on his keystrokes. And still he survived. They trotted out 29 different women, including one complete goofball, and wanted you to believe that some years ago, when he was married to a freaking model, right? Has everybody all laid eyes on Melania Trump, right? Can we all say that is a fine-looking woman? That all of a sudden Trump gets a hankering in a Bergdorf Dorfman or whatever the hell the store's name is. He needs to go get his rocks off, so he finds some scraggly do with what's her name, E. Jean Carroll, and just can't stop. I have to have you. I must have you now. Whoosh, throws open a door, throws caution to the wind like, who cares, right? My entire business empire. Screw it. I have to have you now. Are you kidding me? Could you not have picked somebody at least moderately appealing so that we can at least sort of believe the story? It's so obnoxious, right? It's like the story, I even forget the reason behind it. There was some farcical story that all the morons on the news read about, the plane, bang, ding, ow, and we too low, and holy food. Remember that story? Brock, do you remember what it was for? What was that about? Why did they do that?
I don't remember, but man, was it funny.
It was so funny. And
it made me think of Ron Burgundy. Just read it.
It was hilarious that these news anchors and reporters were trying to read what was supposed to be like Chinese names, but it was all mumbo jumbo until they said it out loud. And then kind of some of them were like, wait a minute. Are we getting played? Yeah. That's what E. Jean Carroll was, right? And the one person who everybody loves to criticize, who everybody is super, super punishing with, right? They criticize every daggone thing about this dude, Donald Trump, right? They tried to kill him on multiple occasions. And I'm sure they're not done. Godspeed, Mr. President, a bubble of protection. They knew going into his house was garbage, but they were willing to roll the dice on it because he was going to be the next nominee for the Republican Party for president. And they knew that Joe Biden was demented, Kamala Harris was never even available mentally, and there was not a bench. Who are we going to go to? Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, right? Castro. This is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the president has been dealing with every daggone day. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, you heard about this Vanity Fair hit piece, Susie Wiles, chief of staff, allegedly saying all these really awful things about people, including Trump. Oh my gosh. Really? Well, let's dig into it and hear from some J.D. Vance next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Okay.
It's so preposterous.
We need to
get some rumbles.
Yes.
329.
I need to ask you some questions.
6,000 on X.
You being
what?
Considered for Mother of the Year.
Oh, okay. Why?
Did you let your kids watch like Frosty and Rudolph and Charlie Brown Christmas?
Yeah. I love Nestor the long-eared donkey. makes me cry.
I've never heard of it.
A year without a Santa Claus? With Heat Miser and Snow Miser? I mean, just look at your hair. You could be either one.
Lester, the long-eared
Nestor.
dunker, Nestor, whatever. And then you sit there and say you've never seen Elf or
whatever. Nestor, the long-eared donkey. Somebody's going to know about it. Come on.
Oh, that doesn't make it good.
What? What are you talking about? Wow, I'm getting gray again. Chemically dependent. Thank God we're getting our hairs did.
When?
I think next Tuesday. I kind of want a pedicure too. Don't you want a pedicure again? She was a little rough last time. I was like, she hurt you and you bled and you were hurting.
Yeah.
Maybe she's gotten better. Maybe I'll get a manicure. I've never gotten one of those really to show off my mom's ring.
You have to watch It's a Wonderful Life.
I've seen parts of it I've seen parts of a lot of movies. Like I've really never seen Christmas Vacation. Yeah, but you've never seen The Spanish Prisoner. You've never seen Diggstown.
Would you stop?
You've never seen
National Lampoons. It's funny every year. You know what's coming, and you still laugh.
But see, you're very judgy. I'm not
I don't
judging
care.
you based
This
on
isn't
your
judgment.
movies.
This is me saying that you're just
So
wrong.
you like Nestor. Thanks, Keith Wayne.
Oh,
A Christmas Story might be the best. I agree with you 100%. Ears, Nestor, yes. Yes, A Year Without a Santa Claus is...
You've never seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
No. I mean, I've seen parts of it when all the lights go off and he's standing outside with his bathrobe and his boots. And yeah, I've seen parts of that. And weren't they staying in a trailer?
I don't know, Todd.
I don't know what that means.
Oh my gosh. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
I love the inside conversations.
No, everyone knows where they're all walking by is like, screw you. I can't say what.
See, Jen Gamboa.
What?
I'm with you, Jen. I'm with you, sister.
Here, Rusty, get this.
I hated that donkey one, as it made you cry, right? It made Joe cry in his adult life.
G.I. Jenny, sorry, I don't like National Lampoon. Just stop.
Well, he thinks that you don't matter now.
I don't. I just stop.
Wow, Danae says she's never watched E.T. I've never seen Titanic. I refuse to because everybody and his brother saw it.
Okay, let me.
That was obnoxious.
If you don't like this, if you don't want a spoiler alert, turn your volume down. The boat sinks. Why is the carpet all wet, Margo?
I have to deal with this every day.
I don't know, Todd. He cuts down the Christmas.
See, this is why people don't like people who like to laugh about things that they haven't seen.
Oh, because you have to see it.
Do you guys see that I'm not doing that to you? Do you see how I'm not doing that to you? Do you see? Right? There's that, and then there's this. This. Look.
It's funny.
Wow. Okay.
You're watching it. Well, I'm gonna chain you to the couch, and you're gonna watch it.
I did not play John Solomon. I'm sorry.
I know.
I motored past him.
I know.
I was on a
Took
roll.
all that time. Well.
To the Wendy Bell radio program, it would seem almost serendipitous, if you will, that we would lead out of a story regarding, the DOJ knowing it didn't have information and didn't have the data, the goods, to raid Mar-a-Lago because, the headlines that came out about that were terrible. It was all about smearing, demeaning, making Trump look bad, look like a criminal, right? Well, sort of like this whole hit piece against Susie Wiles. President Trump and the cabinet come out swinging against Vanity Fair hit job on Susie Wiles. President Donald Trump and members of his cabinet have come to the defense of White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles following a Vanity Fair hit job. Can you just leave your bias aside and tell a damn story without trying to manipulate the facts to create something that doesn't exist? Wiles is featured in a Vanity Fair cover article by Chris Whipple after the White House gave the outlet access to the West Wing for the better part of the year. Why would you ever do that? You can't do it anymore. No mas. No more terrorists. No more foreign countries, third world countries coming in. No more schmucks with the media. Done. Why do it? Is it to expose them? I don't know. So the White House says, come on in, Vanity Fair, because you're trustworthy. Never. Most of the article is very negative. It's down to even the awful photos that were selected, featuring people like Wiles, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, Stephen Miller, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Dan Scavino, Miller Scavino, and Deputy Chief of Staff James Blair are even described as pit bulls. Whipple wrote about comments that Wiles reportedly made about J.D. Vance, who is described by the author as the heir apparent. It read, Vance's conversion from never Trumper to MAGA acolyte, she said, has been sort of political. The vice president, she added, has been a conspiracy theorist for a decade. So J.D. Vance out on tour to talk about how affordable America is becoming under this president. He's asked a question by a reporter, this very question. I wanted you to hear the question and the answer because it's great.
Vice President Jacob Bogage from the Washington Post, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you.
Unfortunately, I have to ask a bit of an off-topic question from affordability because news events do intervene, and that is the interviews that White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles gave to Vanity Fair, in which she's quoted as referring to you as, excuse me, and again, not my words, sir, but a conspiracy theorist of a decade, and described your transformation from someone who once opposed President Trump to now his vice president as an act of political expediency. And I'd like to give you the chance to respond to that, sir.
Well, first of all, if Susie, I'll trust what you said. I haven't looked at the article. I of course have heard about it, but conspiracy theorist. Sometimes I am a conspiracy theorist, but I only believe in the conspiracy theories that are true. And by the way, Susie and I have joked in private and in public about that for a long time. For example, I believed in the crazy conspiracy theory back in 2020 that it was stupid to mask 3-year-olds at the height of the COVID pandemic, that we should actually let them develop some language skills. You know, I believed in this crazy conspiracy theory that the media and the government were covering up the fact that Joe Biden was clearly unable to do the job. And I believed in the conspiracy theory that Joe Biden was trying to throw his political opponents in jail rather than win an argument against his political opponents. So, at least on some of these conspiracy theories, it turns out that a conspiracy theory is just something that was true 6 months before the media admitted it. And that's my understanding.
Wow, that's pretty good. Now, obviously, he was prepared, right? So he had jotted down some ideas. He knew darn well. He could have said anything. He could have said a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden won the 2020 election. Conspiracy theory that just certainly doesn't make sense now today because, the most voted for president with 81 million votes, 7 million more, 8 million more than Barack Obama would have you, right? That he doesn't get a single dollar donated to him in a whole calendar year. The most voted for guy. Everybody was so hot to get him. They couldn't wait for Joe Biden. Yes. Can you give to his presidential library? No. Really? Come on. It's almost as though this Trump administration is going into the back and they're handing out rope. And they're giving it to these people, and they're like, make sure you cut off enough to hang yourself with. Because the way we're going, this is what you're going to do. You're going to Juicy Smollett yourself and walk around and say the two MAGA guys, right, in the middle of the night on a Chicago sub-zero street at 3 a.m, when you had a hankering for a Subway sandwich, knew you were going to be there, and roughed you up. Right. See? All it takes is a little common sense. Great to be with you. Holy cow. 6,300 on X paying attention. Love having you. Come on back tomorrow. We'll do it again. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.